week, as the Redskins took the field, their game plan began working to perfection.
Play fake to Riggs. They go to the end zone. Touchdown. Ron Middleton.
But missed opportunities, foolish penalties, and strange calls sent Washington home defeated and disgusted. Tonight, a chance to get back on track against a team that is much improved. It's the Redskins and the Jets from the Meadowlands. Next. The Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, home to both of New York's professional football teams, and tonight perhaps the most improved one. The New York Jets, after thrashing the Eagles last week, try to make it 2 in a row over the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our coverage of Redskin football. I'm Steve Buckhantz at a wind-swirling East Rutherford Stadium at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The holdouts continue for Washington, which means tonight another good look at young backup quarterback Kerry Conklin, who played well last week against Miami. Redskin coach is hoping to give him plenty of repetition so that when Mark Rippon finally does return, both Conklin and Jeff Rutledge will have vast experience at the backup QB spot. In the meantime, the brutal preseason continues for this Redskin team. Next week, they're in London. The following weekend in Los Angeles. And they close out the preseason at home against the Minnesota Vikings. Tonight, a much improved New York Jet team. And for more on tonight's game, we send you back up to the booth and our old friend Mike Patrick. Mike?
Buck, thank you very much, and hello, everybody. Nice to be back with you. So far in 1992, the Redskins haven't been able to find their rhythm with 3 All-Pros holding out, as well as their top draft choice and several injuries. Bobby Joe Gibbs really hasn't been able to get a handle on the team yet.
Yeah, it's just been a real problem for him. He saw his team down in Orlando this past week play pretty horribly, really. And with 3 or 4 guys out, probably some 10 guys hurt, and not able to really give him a good effort tonight. He is still in the process of trying to polish and get his team ready. I think he's still going to have some problems. We could be as much as 2 weeks off.
All right, Bobby, thanks very much. John, with the holdouts, you would think all of them would be critical to the success of this ball club, but the focus is on Mark Rippon, the quarterback.
I go back to the year 1985, Mike, and, of course, I wish Mark well in his contract negotiations, and I think we both know that he will be in camp eventually, and he's going to play for this team this fall. But what if he isn't? And I have a morbid curiosity. Myself, I see a tremendous opportunity for Coach Gibbs. He has won the Super Bowl with 3 different quarterbacks. And, you know, he could possibly, if the worst came to worst and Rip set the season out, could end up winning the Super Bowl with a rookie. And it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility. He has a much stronger team this year than when Jay Schrader took the Redskins to the championship game. And as we all know, those of us who hang around in entertainment for any length of time, the show must go on.
Well, General Manager Charlie Casserly says despite the rumors and the published reports, nobody who is holding out is signed yet. We'll try to keep you apprised of that. We'll be back with the kickoff, the Redskins and the Jets from the Meadowlands in just a moment.
Tonight's Redskins versus Jets preseason game is brought to you in part by Hefty. Our new strength is value. By your Washington area Ford dealers. If you didn't get a Ford, you didn't get a deal. By McDonald's. Stop by McDonald's for a gold medal meal featuring a double or triple cheeseburger, large fries, and a 32-ounce soft drink. What you want is what you get at McDonald's. And by the Virginia Lottery. What's the score on Virginia's Lotto? Tonight's estimated Lotto jackpot is $8 million.
So you can get in. The Redskins against the Jets from the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and the Redskins will kick off to start this ball game. Jets have won the toss, and as we were talking earlier, the Jets, unlike the Redskins, have all their people in camp and are in pretty good shape in that situation. And Bruce Coslett able to polish his team, as Bobby Mitchell was referring to earlier. And that gives him a great advantage, Bobby, coming into the second preseason game.
Yes, it does. He's getting ready for the season this early. And Joe does not have that luxury.
Chip Lohmiller has it teed up at the 35-yard line. Eric McMillan and A.B. Brown are back to receive, and we are set to go from East Rutherford, New Jersey. Low line drive kick hits one of the up men. Picked up at the 20 and returned to the 25-yard line, and the New York Jets will start from there.
Well, I tell you what, I would think that Coach Sevier will be watching this very closely because the special teams have not played the way he wanted to the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure Wayne was very disappointed in what happened down in Miami over the weekend. I didn't really get a chance to see the game, but from all the reports that you hear in the papers this week, that's definitely an area he'll be concentrating on.
See the Jets starting lineup, and they will be going with Browning Nagel, second-year quarterback out of Louisville, who has virtually been given this job as the starter with Kenny O'Brien unsigned. It doesn't seem to matter whether he signs or not. And Nagel back to throw on first down. Pressured out of the pocket and dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard shy.
It appeared from here that Nagel was checking off at the line of scrimmage. I think he saw something up there that maybe he didn't like.
There's the Redskins defensive lineup, and Mann, Williams, Johnson, and Stokes, the regular defensive line you would expect. Raven Caldwell, the new man in the middle for the Redskins.
Well, I know Torgay would be happy if he could see a lot more of that on-the-line pursuit that you saw on that particular play.
Got some pressure up the middle with Eric Williams and Tim Johnson at 2nd and 10. Blair Thomas, the tailback, cuts inside of Stokes. Got maybe a yard and was stacked up there. Redskins swarming to the ball that time. Marshall was in on the stop, and boy, didn't Wilbur Marshall just have a sensational year a year ago, even though he didn't get to go to the Pro Bowl, because linebackers go to the Pro Bowl because of sacks these days, and that's about it.
Yeah, he needs another year like that in order to get the respect he wants. You can't do it 1 year.
Well, you don't have to go to the the Pro Bowl to feel like you had a successful season. After all, I only went to one, guys.
Yeah, and guess where you went last weekend.
I kept telling myself it's not important. That's right. That's right. It'll catch up with you if you hang around long enough.
One Pro Bowl in the Hall of Fame. Nagel under the blitz, throws over the middle, incomplete. Mays was coming up in a hurry to bang in a Terrence Mathis, the intended receiver.
Mathis didn't really look like he wanted much to do with that football. He just kind of ran right on by it. And there was some good coverage by the Redskins on that.
Brian Mitchell, who was second in the NFL, will get a chance to return a punt here. Scott McAllister, the rookie out of North Carolina, will punt to Mitchell, who averaged 13.3 yards a kick return a year ago. Really upgraded the Redskins return squad. Not a good kick this time. And takes a bounce out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Only a 29-yard punt off the foot of rookie Scott McAllister, who was battling Louis Aguiar for a job here in the Jets camp.
Well, Kerry Conklin wants to get this team going right now. I think there's nothing he'd rather do than march this team down the field and put 6 points on the scoreboard for the Redskins. It's very important, although not critical, that he get off to a good start, I think.
Well, with Mark Addix out with a bad back, Elliott's going to get his chance at center, and Bostic has a bad ankle, so this is going to be a big game for Elliott.
Ernest Biner opens at running back. That's Orr, the H-back in motion. And Conklin to throw on first down and completes it to the sideline to Art Monk. How many times have we seen that one?
I was a little surprised, actually. I thought maybe they might come out running the football right away just to kind of get Conklin settled down and get him into the game, but he does have a game from last week under his belt, so I guess that's not critical.
There's the lineup with Gary Clark out with a hamstring. Ricky Sanders will start at a wide receiver spot. Jacoby up front. The other tackle is Ray Brown. The Redskins really banged up and thin along the offensive line with Simmons out. Mo Elwanibi coming back off an injury.
Yeah, Rip might want to wait just a little bit longer before he comes back. Get those hogs in front of him.
Here's the rollout by Conklin. Rifles this one complete to Orr to the Jets' 39-yard line. Terry Orr, a gain of 13, and Conklin sharp early, throwing the way he did in last week's loss. He played very well.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pass. Conklin drops back. He sees the whole field, I think. And Terry makes a nice pad here. He's wide open, but boy, look at this. He drills this football. That is a line drive, folks. Great pass, great catch.
And he's throwing against a very good Jets secondary. They've dramatically improved a year ago. Biner. Nice haul. Good cut. 30, 25, 20. Another first down. And Ernest Biner, who had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, shows you why.
2 Pro Bowls under his belt. This is a nice hole here it develops. It's just a little draw play. The Jets, I think, are expecting a pass. They got Orr out ahead of him. Nice cut there by Ernst. He finds the hole in there. Nice crease. And he breaks it outside. I don't think, Bobby, we were talking earlier, you said if Biner gets out there and starts making a lot of yards, he's going to play the whole game. I don't think that's in his game plan, Bobby. Ernie, don't do that. Slow down, my friend.
He may get a little more time tonight because Ricky Irvins is not scheduled to play, has a hip flexor.
Yeah, Ricky is out tonight. He has an injury that will keep him out certainly tonight.
Biner again off the left side behind Jacoby. Got 5 out of it. Jacoby and Schlorath leading the play from the right side.
Well, that was the bread and butter play of the Redskins. I believe it was counter trey. What was that? 70 counter trey, I guess.
Of course, the ground game didn't look like much a week ago, John.
It takes a while, I think, for everybody. Of course, the starting offensive line isn't in there, but so far tonight they've done a nice job of 2 running plays. And probably, what, you got about 20 yards now, I guess, on the ground.
And it's been against the toughest side of that Jets defense.
And that is a good rushing defense as well as a good pass defense.
Yes.
Gave up only 90 yards a game on the ground last year. That was the best in the AFC. Biner wrapped up and dropped. He'll lose a couple that time as the Jets with Kyle Clifton, number 59, the middle linebacker, the first man through to make the tackle.
Yeah, it didn't really look like Donnie Warren or Terry Orr got their men driven off the ball. The Jet defenders do a good job of stretching this play out, and Biner really doesn't have any place to go. The safety comes up to support the run, and the pursuit catches up with him.
3rd and 6. The Redskins on their opening possession at the Jets' 16-yard line.
I think this is a play that gets critical for a young quarterback like this. He's got to keep the drive alive, and this is where the pressure is on Conklin.
Straight back. Good protection over the middle. Complete. Down to the 9-yard line. It will be a first down for the Redskins, and Ricky Sanders settled into the middle of that defense. Conklin has been perfect.
You know, one of the things that helped this is that Ray Brown lined up that left tackle. Jeff Lunderman, last time they played, kind of ate him up. He's sticking with him pretty good. They've been breaking through that left side real well. Ray needs this game.
Conklin, 3 out of 3, 26 yards on this opening drive. Conklin to throw again. Look for Orr. He was covered. Throws back across the middle, incomplete. Outstanding defense as Washington stripped it from Biner.
Yeah, that really was a great defensive play because I believe Biner has that football. I mean, I believe he could have caught it, but Conklin's trying to find somebody in the end zone, but he can't. And he did just a great job of coming down underneath and checking it off to Biner. The ball's placed outside, the defender's inside. Great job of reading the field, I think.
Washington known more for his run support than his pass coverage as the strong side safety, but did a fine job on that play. Second and goal. Biner goes to a slot. Flag is down. Conklin throws complete to Donnie Warren. Buried under a pile of Jets at the 3. We'll check the penalty for you.
Well, this is where it gets tough down there in that plus 20 area. You really run out of room to run good pass patterns. And the defenders are laying up on the line because there's no place to go, and they can really support for the run.
And the Redskins walking back. Johnny Greer, the Referee talking to the Jets. Here's the call.
Illegal motion. 83 offense. Still second down.
That's Ricky Sanders, and that's a point of official emphasis this year. If you go in motion too quick, and that time he wasn't in motion, he was just dancing off the line of scrimmage. But if you go in motion and lean toward the line of scrimmage, they're going to call it this year.
Yeah, James Hasty called that play for the Jets. He saw what was going on.
Now 2nd and goal at the 13 for the Skins. Conklin rolls into pressure. Throws complete down to the 4-yard line. Art Monk makes the catch and covered quickly by an excellent corner, James Hasty.
I think Terry Conklin just improving with every game. He looks like very similar to what he did last year, and he really caught a lot of people's attention in the preseason. But look at this. He's got a little pressure on him. He still finds the open guy, puts the ball away where the defender can't intercept it.
Well, one thing's good about it, John, is when he sees the receiver coming open off the route, he got that quick release. And that was one of the things they were worried about. He's releasing that ball really quick.
Art Monk only 18 catches short of Steve Largent's brilliant all-time record. 3rd and goal now from the 4.
They'll go to about game 3 for the regular season.
Conklin for the end zone, incomplete, intended for Orr. Again, good coverage by Lonnie Young.
Well, Young looked like he was leaning on Terry just a little bit there, but I guess the ref has a better view of it than we do up here.
Well, one of the things happened to this play is that Banner got knocked down and didn't get a chance to complete his pattern.
I think Terry could have ran a little bit better pattern there. He doesn't really put much of a fake on to get that defender to lean back in toward the goalpost when he comes out of his move there. And he can't get any separation from him, and that's the reason you have an incomplete.
Chip Lohmiller with a 22-yard field goal. And the Redskins draw first blood here in the Meadowlands. It's 3-0. The Skins over the Jets. Welcome back to the Meadowlands. The Washington Redskins with a 3-0 lead on the Jets. Mike Patrick, John Riggins, Bobby Mitchell, and Steve Buckhantz with you from New Jersey. And Chip Lohmiller to kick to Eric McMillan and A.B. Brown. Crushed this one. Out of the end zone.
All right, that's the Chip we're looking for.
That's what Wayne likes to see. We have Wayne, is he Mike tonight? He is, isn't he?
Yes.
I have to think up a good question for him here in a little bit. One that he'll need his slide rule to answer.
Well, he prides himself in not being stumped.
That's right. And he's a former mathematician, so beware.
Yeah. Jets take over at their 20 with Browning Nagel after the Redskins went 52 yards in 10 plays for the field goal. And motion early and a flag down. Nagel drew rave reviews a week ago. There you see the motion call. That'll back the Jets up 5 yards. His teammates seem to be most impressed that he took some wicked shots from the Philadelphia Eagles and didn't even blink, just stood in the pocket and took it. And you find out early about a quarterback, don't you?
Well, I was going to say, if you can take it from the Eagles, I think you can just about take it from anybody. That is a pretty rough defense they have. And he did look sharp from what I remember last week.
Straight 4-man rush. Nice defensive play. A.J. Johnson nearly made the pick. And the Redskins are just drooling at the prospect of A.J. Johnson being able to stay healthy and play that corner.
Well, I'll tell you what is happening here, and we talked about this as soon as the game started, is you're getting the inline play. You're getting the pursuit and the quickness along the line. It's making a big difference in this ball game at this point.
Yeah, he read that play perfectly, and he just let the ball come. and he tried to step in between. He wasn't quite in position to make the interception, but certainly the deflection.
Always been an excellent man cover. Started 8 games 3 years ago, you'll remember.
So I think the theory is if you can cover man, I think you can play zone.
And if you've got a guy that can team with Darrell Green, and here is the sack as Nagel was under pressure, and the Redskins did it with a 4-man rush. Eric Williams gets the sack.
Well, again, we're talking about along the line. I think that quick lateral movement along the line has made the quarterback move. And look, there it is. Eric gets the tackle.
It's a good job. He's forced out, I think, by Tim Johnson, and then, of course, forces him back over to Eric.
3rd and 17 now, and the Redskins have been very sharp on both sides of the ball. Nagel out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Rifles this one, and it's dropped right through the hands of Patrick Nelson.
I think Wilmer Marshall might have had a shot at that football, too, but I'll tell you what, I think that thing was rising. It looked like a Nolan Ryan fastball from up here.
Well, one thing for sure, Marshall got back into that zone and got right in the middle of that seam. He made it a difficult throw.
Well, Nagel does have an arm, though. He gunned that one.
He can throw the football.
McAllister, who had a punt of 29 yards, is on to kick again. Mitchell waits at the Redskin 45. Another terrible kick. This totally shanked. And dead at the 29-yard line. A 15-yard punt. And McAllister has gotten off 2 lousy. Oh, that was Aguiar in there for McAllister. So not much to choose between these guys on their opening efforts.
No, Bruce Coughlin will probably be back in punt formation if they have to do that again. I should say when they have to do that again. I'd be curious to know what's in Brian Mitchell's mind, because, you know, he's a heck of a running back in his own right. But it seems like every year he comes to camp, the only thing that he's going to do is handle punts and kickoff returns. Right now, they got the new kid in Camp Green from William and Mary, and he's looking to impress.
Seems to be already relegated to special teams duties again.
Just early in the season.
Gerald Riggs into the ball game for the first time, and he'll get the carry. Riggs, the short yardage specialist from a year ago when he had 11 touchdowns.
Well, he needs a lot of work. This is good. He's gotten in this early. He really needs to work.
Now, here's an interesting numbers game with the running backs, too, because you've got Biner. They want to give, obviously, Irvins is going to make the team. John Settle is there, a former 1,000-yard rusher. You can't just continue to add names to that list and carry people.
Right, and really I think it gets down to how impressive Green is when it's all said and done. Although you still need a short yardage runner, and that still gives Riggs a chance.
Riggs on the counter, nice cut. Inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line, first down. Gain of 12, and he is still capable of doing that. 2 years ago when he was hurt, I thought he was on the verge of another great season.
Right. Yeah,
well, John,
he really makes a nice read here. See, there's a big seam in there. He just bends it back against the grain. The Jets are looking for the play to go outside. He does a real nice job of running there.
Nice block by Ray Brown.
Well, he gives you that run strength, as John knows. When you're going up in the middle of that line, you want that fullback to give you great power and strength. And Riggs has that.
Yeah, you won't see him get knocked backwards many times, will you, Bob?
No, you won't.
Conklin had a little trouble with the snap, gets it to Riggs. The timing was off on the play. Dives forward to the 16-yard line. Bobby, you talked in the opening of the show and the pregame about Joe Gibbs being upset by all the mistakes. The Redskins have looked very crisp so far.
Very good. This is great for him. And the young kid, Elliott, who's starting there at the center, this is good for Conklin to get used to him, because it is a different type snap than what Bostic would be doing.
Look at the total yardage so far. The Redskins dominating. 2nd and 9 here. Elliott, of course, the last player chosen in the draft. Comes the blitz. Conklin hangs in there, rifles it complete to Sanders inside the 10. Conklin showing poise on that, knowing the blitz was coming.
Yeah, he had a little pressure on him right there. It was a good job of picking up by Gerald Riggs. He makes a nice block here, although I think that linebacker takes a little bit out of him, but he's underneath him. But it's enough for Conklin to get the pass off and completed.
That was Mo Lewis, 57 on the blitz. He's their big play guy. And watch the throw by Conklin.
Well, that's what you call a route control pass. And I thought that Sanders moved right in there real well. It came open just where they wanted it to.
3rd and a yard. Tight formation. Riggs.
Good defense by the Jets there. There really wasn't anything there. I think they had that play smelled out before they ever snapped the ball, because there was about 4 green jerseys on Gerald before he had a chance.
Although they mark it near the 8.
You got an aggressive line come in there.
It almost looked like they had a blitz on.
And they'll have to measure. Redskins need to get just inside the 8 to have the first down. And they'll be short. Length of a football, maybe a little more. So what do you do in preseason? Already up 3-0. You go for it?
I would, but I'm not Coach Gibbs. I have no idea. I think he probably will. Yeah, look like they're going to stay on the field.
Well, you know, you really don't have much choice when you think about it. The way the team has played up to this point, he's got as close to his starting unit in there as possible. You might as well let him play. You might as well find out if we're going to get some athleticism in tonight and some movement.
And you've been totally dominant so far.
That's right.
Fourth and a foot for the Redskins at the Jets' 8. Riggs.
It's going to be close. It depends on where they're going to mark the ball. But
Redskins signaling first down. The Jets signaling not.
Yeah, I think it is a first down.
And they'll have to measure it again. No, they've already given it to him.
Yeah.
1st and goal from the 7 as he picked up about 2/3 of a yard.
That was just a good hard-nosed football play there. There wasn't much there, but Riggs made the first down anyway.
Riggs off the left side. No place to go. Tries to cut it back and lost 3.
Great pursuit by the Jets.
They really upgraded their speed on defense in the last couple of years, and it showed on that play.
That's for sure. I'll tell you, I think the Redskins here are just trying to come out and hammer the ball a little bit. They've got Riggs in there, and they want to go ahead and give him a workout, like Bobby was saying, but they stretch that play out just the way you're supposed to do it. I think that's the way it's drawn up in the textbook. Riggs makes a nice move there. He gets all the way out there and then plants and pivots and spins back around, but the Jets are still coming. There wasn't anything left for him.
Loss of 3 makes it 2nd and goal from the 10. A rapid first quarter, 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Skins up 3-0. Riggs on the counter, hit at the line of scrimmage and stopped.
Now, some people are going to be sitting back at home and wondering, why is Joe Gibbs doing this? It's very obvious. He has got to find out if his line is ready to play football. We were talking about polishing. This is one way you polish up. Run those plays that are your bread and butter later. The guys have got to learn how to come off the ball and hit people.
Lageman, Gunn, and Bobby Houston all in on the tackle. Lageman, of course, former #1 draft choice, moved from linebacker to defensive end. Now 3rd and goal from the 10 for the Redskins. Monk to the near side, Sanders to the far side, then Orr goes outside of him. Conklin with time, and it's tipped.
Got a penalty down there, Mike. I don't know what.
It's back at the 12-yard line. Had Sanders over the middle, but somebody got a hand on it. Procedure call against Washington, and Joe Gibbs out there to find out who was guilty. And And the Jets will turn it down, making it 4th and goal from the 10, and they were pointing at Jacoby.
You know, against the Miami Dolphins last week, the Redskins were stymied with penalties. Had about 11 penalties. That's unheard of for Redskins football. So they need this work.
Lohmiller, who has already connected on one short field goal, will try this one from 28. Hooked it a little left, but still got it through. So the Redskins with 2 impressive drives in the 2 times they've had the ball, but they come away with only a field goal on each. 6-0 Redskins. Chip Lohmiller has accounted for all the Redskins scoring so far on 2 short field goals, and the Skins are up over the Jets 6-0. And Lohmiller preparing to kick off again with 1:07 to go in the first quarter. So far, in just a little under 14 minutes, the Redskins have had the ball 11.5 minutes of this period. They've been in total control. And Lohmiller booms another one. McMillan got outstanding speed, and Lohmiller takes him out of bounds outside the 30. A 35-yard kickoff return by Eric McMillan.
He drew the Jets into the middle there, and then he breaks it to the outside and really picked up a lot of running room out there.
Well, Eric is a fine runner and a fine defensive back.
We'll be back to the Meadowlands in a moment. Here's the story from the Meadowlands so far. The Redskins on top of the New York Jets 6-0. And the Jets with good field position this time at the 32.
And there's Russ Grimm. You know, guys, he just doesn't look the same without shoulder pads and a helmet on. And he looks a little bored, I hate to say it. Hey, Russ might have to work somebody over and put on some pads to go out there in the second half.
It is a different job description, isn't it?
Yes, it is. He's probably never, well, I was going to say he's never stayed up so late, but that's probably isn't true.
Jets will go on the ground this time, and A.J. Johnson comes up to get a piece of Blair Thomas. The Jets are really counting on Thomas. He did not have a good year last year. Did not show the 4.4 speed that he had. Did not capitalize on the success of his rookie season. And they're very concerned that if he doesn't come back, what are they going to do at running back?
I'll tell you what, on that play right there, he showed some of that 4.4 speed. He looked like he just leapt around that end.
The best description last year, he ran very stiff. And that time he did not. Gain of 4. Play action by Nagel. And tipped away by Charles Mann. Good play by the big defensive end.
It's a way to stay home, Charles.
That really was a great play by Charles. He's got him all by himself out there. He's got contained on that end. And look at that. He's up in the air and gets his hand on the football. I would think, though, Nagel's showing the fact that he's just a little bit inexperienced here, because if he sees this guy trying to throw through him, he might have wanted to hold on to it just for a second and let Mann pass him and then come behind him with the ball. But it might have thrown the pass route off. I don't know.
Well, Nagel, he saw that mountain coming at him.
Nagel now 0 for 4, and he faces a 3rd and 6 here. Pressure from Stokes. Dumps it off to Thomas. Great cut. And he has the first down after the 47-yard line, where Brad Edwards, the free safety, makes the tackle. The first completion for Browning Nagel and a first down. That's the end of the first quarter. The score from the Meadowlands, the Redskins 6, the Jets nothing. Redskins lead at 6-0 over the Jets, but the Jets finally got some offense on the last play.
Good defense here by the Redskins, but eventually the Jets are going to make a play. Nagel does a good job here getting rid of the football, but he's really being pressured here. He's even being hit as he lets the ball go. It's not a great pass. And Thomas makes a nice cut there. You're not probably going to do that to Wilbur Marshall too many times.
So they've moved the ball to their own 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Play action by Nagel again. Good fake, and he wants to go deep. Mathis down the middle. Couldn't hold it. Split the Redskins defense. Mayhew and Copeland Mathis out of New Mexico was open deep.
Well, that has to put a smile on Bruce Coslet's face, except for the drop pass. But I'll tell you, that ball can't be thrown any better. That's very reminiscent of Mark Rippon, dropping it down the chimney. He lays it right on the money in full run, or full stride, but he just can't hang on to it.
Well, that's perfect.
It don't get no better than that.
And Nagel knew it, too. He's operating without Rob Moore, who's out with an ankle injury, and Al Toon, who's not playing because he had heart palpitations earlier in the week. Fumble picked up by Andre Collins. Redskins ball at the 38.
I was just getting ready to say, a play like that can be devastating for a young quarterback. Here he really should be down there on the goal line getting ready to punch it in for 6 points. And instead, it's a drop ball. He comes back, and he just gets flustered here. He wants to throw the ball. He doesn't even have a grip on it. Just completely gets away from him. He's still lamenting the play before. And, you know, that's his youth coming through.
Redskins with a break and a 6-0 lead.
Tonight's Redskins versus Jets preseason game is brought to you in part by Hefty. Our new strength is value. By Roy Rogers. No one does chicken like Roy. And by the Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
For the second time in 3 possessions, the Redskins will start in New York Jets territory. This time after the fumble, they start outside of the Jets' 37-yard line, much to the displeasure of Bruce Coslet. Riggs is the setback. And he'll get the carry. Schlereth pulling, but not much room out there, and Riggs fights back to the line of scrimmage. Got maybe a half a yard.
Wasn't much on that play. He got slowed down in the backfield there as he tried to turn the corner, and when he cut it back, there was still more pursuit coming.
Well, he has a new group in there with him on the line, so his blocks are coming a little different. And Gerald has got to make the adjustment with the new blockers. The same as Big Riggo did.
I never had to, man. They let the same guys in all the time.
Same guys in on you every time, right?
They had to get them tighter than me so I could run behind them. Otherwise, they'd pull out ahead of me too far.
2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Conklin wants the screen to Riggs. Got a nice block from Schlereth and down to the 30-yard line. The Jets saw that one coming, and only an outstanding block by Mark Schlereth made it work for Washington.
Well, I think right now we're getting ready to see the perfunctory screenplay that the Redskins run every preseason, never to be used again until a year from now. No, it was a great play by Schlereth, who had a great season last year as well. A nice run by Riggs.
Lonnie Young had to make the tackle, but not before he got to the 30. Now it's 3rd and 3, and Conklin has hit 6 out of 9 in the first half. Make it 7 out of 10, and the Redskins with Stephen Hobbs making the grab down to the 23-yard line. Mike Grimm made the tackle.
I thought we were going to see a big play there. I think that he had a little bit of room to work on that defender. Conklin takes a hit here. There's a little bit of pressure on him, but he still stands in there, which is what he did so great last week. Is after the throw, well, it didn't really that much, kind of like a pull down. Now, a little bit, bounced him around a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NFL, Kerry. Here's where I thought Hobbs might get a little bit more out of that. He had a little bit of room to work in.
Hobbs always seems to have an exceptional preseason, and then he has to settle in behind the posse.
This is a super football player, though.
Conklin steps away from pressure, and another great throw. Hobbs makes the catch. He's down at the 16-yard line.
That was a big league pass right there, Joe.
Boy, wasn't it? He has thrown every ball exactly where you want it to be on the pass.
I was getting ready to say, his control is just really fantastic, I think. He is laying it right where it needs to be. This ball is thrown inside. It's an incompletion. He puts it right out on the outside of towards the outside line.
Well, one thing Hobbs did, he showed good ball tracking ability, concentration. Boy, on a receiver has got to be able to do that.
He caught 3 a week ago, averaging more than 18 yards a catch. 2nd and 4 here. The up back is Gary Wilkins, who goes to the wing. Conklin, a little half roll for the end zone and threw it away. and was drilled by Mark Gunn after he got rid of it.
Getting ready to say that. He's getting tagged back there a little bit. There's really, I don't know if that's all that necessary.
Well, one of the elements of a great quarterback is courage, and he's gotten knocked around pretty good the last couple of weeks.
I wonder if the refs don't look at a quarterback and they figure, well, he's 6'2", weighs 225, he can take it. If you're a little bit smaller than that, you see a yellow flag.
Yeah, well, Mark Gunn's 6'5", 285, so maybe Conklin would like some input on that decision.
Exactly.
3rd and 4 here. The Redskins trying to complete a drive. They've had to settle for 2 field goals so far. Good protection for Conklin. Another great throw, but off the hands and intercepted. This one picked off by Mo Lewis. You can't fault Conklin. It was another great throw, but bounced up in the air, and Mo Lewis got the pick.
It really was a great play here. Rayham lets his man loose, and you can see that he's just getting pressured right as he lets the ball go. In fact, it looked like it may have been deflected. But
it came off the shoulder of the defensive back there.
Hobbs couldn't come up with that one, so the Jets get a break, but they're still down 6-0.
That was not an easy ball to catch, though. Did
No.
you see it? It was damn near.
Mo Lewis on the phone upstairs telling the coaches in the press box how easy it is to make big plays, and here's how he did it.
From their own 23.
They come off the line here. The ball's right there, but he just can't quite hang on to it. But as we were seeing earlier before that, the ball was deflected, I think. It was a very difficult pass to catch.
Jets on 3 possessions have had a fumble and a couple of awful punts. They've not been able to do anything. Nagel has only completed 1 pass, and Charles Mann reached out and nearly dehorned Blair Thomas.
Yeah, as they say, Charles got penetration on this one. He was like 2 or 3 yards in the backfield and turned this play back into the interior of the defensive line.
We sort of had the right defense, don't you think, John?
I would say that was the right defense.
2nd and 11.
Boy, and it looked like Charles got a piece of the face mask, too, and knew it and let go in a hurry.
And if it was the wrong defense, they did a heck of a job of making up for it.
Great to see Charles Mann come back last year the way he did after being injured and really returned to form. Led the Redskins with 11 sacks, 5th in the NFL for down linemen. Nagel play action, Marshall blitz, and they got it. Lost the ball and got it back. Marshall made him step aside, and Mann cleaned it up.
Yeah, that was a big play right there. They come with a blitz. Nagel still looks like he's just a little wobbly here as a second-year player. But look at this. Marshall almost has him, and Mann actually strips him of the ball. He knocks it out with a fist. Nagel's very fortunate to recover that fumble.
Wilbur getting more opportunities last year, being on the field a lot more than he had been before. Chance to make bigger plays, and he really took advantage. 3rd and 19 here. Straight 4-man rush, and Nagel pressured again, throws on the run, incomplete. Tim Johnson really pushed the pocket back up the middle. And what an acquisition with Williams and Johnson coming from other teams to shore up this defense.
Well, we're still getting this tremendous rush from that defensive line. The aggressiveness that they've been looking for, they're showing it tonight. Well, you can't ask for anything more than that.
And here's the one thing the Jets have done worse than anything tonight, and that's punt the football. Aguiar standing in the end zone. Mitchell hoping for a chance to return one, and the crowd sort of jeers as Aguiar gets off a good kick. Mitchell tripped up, got back to the 48, 49-yard line. 10-yard return after a good kick of 47 yards. Redskins will go back on offense in good field position in a moment. This is Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Redskins are playing the New York Jets tonight. And the Redskins, if you've just joined us, have been totally dominant in this ball game. They only lead 6-0, but they have just manhandled the Jets on both sides of the football. Mike Patrick, John Riggins, Bobby Mitchell, Steve Buckhantz with you. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. Redskins looking much sharper than they did a week ago when they lost to the Dolphins in their preseason opener. Play action to Riggs, pressure, and another Nice play by Conklin to get rid of it. Riggs takes it out of the backfield and gains 9.
And it looks like Conklin was hit again. He's been hit probably 5-6 times now tonight.
Well, he rolled out of here real well. Good fake. When he had to roll out, he rolled over just enough. Fired that ball out.
Paul Fraze out of Syracuse is the man who gets the stick on the quarterback. Second and a yard. Riggs trying to get the first down, sidesteps the first tackler, and then powers his way to the 39-yard line.
Flag.
There's a penalty flag down. It's in the backfield. It will go against the Redskins.
Got a holding call.
Nice little stutter step by Riggs to get away from that initial tackler.
Penalty marker on the play.
But all for naught.
I was going to say, now we got a holding call. We've had several hits on the quarterbacks. I would say in Jim Hannafin's line meeting, the cat o' nine tails will be very busy. There'll be a few lashings going on.
And Riley McKenzie, the guilty party on the last one.
Well, Raleigh figured he's not gonna get hit because of my man.
Second and 11.
Looked like he had his hands in there pretty good. If you keep your hands inside the shoulders.
As a rule, right, they won't call it.
Right. But it's preseason for the officials, too. There's the penalty story. And the Redskins now face a 2nd and 11 at their own 47. Blitz. Conklin hangs in there and completes it to Joe Johnson down to the 42-yard line.
That was a nice-looking football player. Johnson runs down, makes his cut across the middle, and Conklin comes back, reads it, and just lays the ball in there. He's reading it all the way here. And that's the first pass he threw that just a little bit behind Johnson. Other than that, that's the first ball I've seen Conklin throw that really wasn't right on the money.
And we're getting a little picky, aren't we, because he completed it.
Well, when he's that good, Mike, what are we going to do? He starts off perfect. Anything less, we just won't tolerate it.
He's starting to add up style points.
He still showed touch.
I'm going to start commenting on how he's dressed in a second. Socks could be a little higher, I think. Or lower, maybe. I'm not sure.
Conklin 10 out of 15, 83 yards, had the interception, but that was a well-thrown ball, too, not his fault. Conklin, of course, with very little experience. He's been on the injured reserve list for 2 years. Has not played in a regular season game as yet. And now Joe Gibbs is in a situation, Bobby, where he may have to go with Conklin longer than he otherwise would because Mark Rippon is still out.
That's right. And he likes what he's seeing, and he's going to go as long as he sees that.
3rd and a yard. Riggs. First down and more. Gerald Riggs breaks it to the 32.
Great piece of running there. And I'll tell you what, I don't think the Redskins got off the ball all that well. It looked like it was either an early snap or the snap count was thrown off a little bit. I was surprised they made that. But Riggs really turned this into a big play.
Well, he's showing good instincts out there, and that's awful important, as you know, John, for a running back. He's running to what he's seeing.
Here he just breaks a tackle right there and then makes a nice cutback.
He's always had that great power, and one of the Jets is down injured at the 30-yard line. We'll check on the injury as you watch Gerald Riggs when we come back. Seven minutes, 58 seconds to go. First half of play from New Jersey. The Redskins leading the Jets 6-0. The injured player, Roy Hart, for the Jets, a Plan B free agent picked up from the Raiders this year, has been down on the field for quite a while and now being helped to his feet. Hart out of South Carolina, 6 feet 285.
That's off to the right of the screen there is the Grand Master of Orthopedic Surgeons, Jim Nicholas, who operated on Joe Namath many times.
And Hart limping off right now.
You know, we were just talking about the training camp with the Redskins. There doesn't really seem to be much hoopla coming out of Carlisle. I mean, this is a team that just won the Super Bowl. you hear no talk of, like repeat really, or any of that enthusiasm that goes along with it. They're just, it's almost like they all carry a lunch pail after practice. They do their stuff and go home. It's like they say in that old movie, it might be a John Wayne Western, it's quiet out there, guys, a little too quiet.
Yeah, the lieutenant's the one that always says too quiet, isn't it? You're looking at Jets defensive coaching staff on the sideline trying to find a way to stop the Redskins. They have not been very successful so far. 1st and 10 here. And Conklin wants to throw under pressure again over the middle of Hobbs. Down to the 10. Lost the ball. McMillan has it for the Jets. And there is a flag down, roughing the passer. Conklin got hit again, this time way too late.
Yeah, I thought some of this stuff has been borderline. I'm glad to see they finally called it here, because I think he's been incessantly pounded for no good reason. I thought perhaps, and we can't see it, maybe we'll get a replay, that maybe Hobbs had either the ground caused the fumble or that his knee was down. It looked pretty close, but maybe he just lost control before he came down. He looked just a little tentative, though, when he went. He was over the middle, and he knew it was late. There were defenders around him, but he still came up with the football and made a big catch. It was a big throw, too.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 90, defense.
That's Dennis Byrd, who unloaded on Kerry Conklin.
The ball's been gone. That's way late.
Yeah, there's no reason for that.
Well, the way the referee will look at it now is if you have one step, that's fine. If you have anything more than one step, you better pull up.
Well, you can. I think that's a referee's judgment call there, but it's obvious he could have pulled off of him. He certainly had control of his momentum.
Dennis Byrd really got his lick in, and it's a break for the Redskins as they have another 1st down inside the Jets' 20. Riggs powers his way inside the 15. Kerry Conklin is probably saying, hey, that's a good call.
Yeah,
we'll run a couple more of these.
Kerry's going to be wearing a neck brace by the end of the night if they don't slow him down a little bit. There's a nice play by Riggs as well. He came in there, the play where I think that would look like 50 gut, designed to go off tackle. It was completely stuffed, but there was a crease back over the middle, and he changed the direction and picked up about, 3 or 4.
Riggs in his 11th year, of course, traded by the Atlanta Falcons to the Redskins in 1989. Riggs again. Nice hole up the middle. Dives inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. Washington and Lewis on the tackle for the Jets. So Riggs getting a lot of work here in the 1st half.
Just what I was thinking.
This is great because now he gets an opportunity to get his intensity back. And as John knows, you've got to have run intensity to look the way you want to look and get the job done. And when lack of play, you lose that intensity.
11 carries, 29 yards for Gerald Riggs so far in this game. It's 3rd and 1. A lot of short yardage situations so far for the Redskins. There are the numbers on Conklin. He's had a fine 1st half, but still it's only 6-0 Washington. Conklin to throw on 3rd and short over the middle, incomplete, intended for Hobbs, and McMillan, a late flag as McMillan went over the top.
Really wasn't much there for Conklin to throw to.
And you can tell by the Jets' protest that this is going to go against New York.
Illegal use of hands. Defense. 1st down.
So another break for the Redskins.
Yeah, it looks like McMillan. Conklin's looking around. He doesn't really find anybody. And really, he's pretty well covered. I mean, there's no place to really go with the ball. That ball maybe should have been thrown out of the end zone.
And that looked like a pretty good defensive play, too. Right. Didn't go through the receiver.
It wasn't too bad.
He said with tongue-in-cheek. So the Skins set up shop inside the 5, 1st and goal with 6 minutes to go in the half. Riggs cut it back. No place to go this time. R.J. Coors, number 25, the first of several Jets to come up and make the stop.
The Jets appear to be playing the counter trade play very well tonight. They're doing a good job with that. They get the people pushed down inside, and then they force it back inside, but they really don't get any kick-out blocks.
Clock running, 5:22 to go in the half. Second and goal, Washington at the Jets 4. Conklin changing the play. Rifles for the end zone, incomplete, intended for Hobbs. Another flag is down. This time, R.J. Coors and Tony Stargell were on the coverage. Well, you have to say the Skins have gotten all the breaks on this drive.
Yeah, they are. I'll tell you what, there were 2 defenders on him. I don't know about throwing the ball in there. Maybe kind of a little bit inconclusive from here. You really can't tell, but I guess it's obviously.
And now it looks like it's going against the Redskins.
Right.
Check Johnny Greer's call for you. Would bring up a 3rd and goal if they decline it.
Pass interference. 86. Offense. Still second down.
Well, certainly couldn't tell from that replay that Stephen Hobbs did anything. He was getting hit from the back.
Right, that's what it looked like to me. Maybe pushed off when he went into his move.
Receivers don't do that.
No. Never.
I never did.
Of course, the official has to wait on that call to see if it's a running play. Otherwise, it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. They'll push the Redskins back near the 15-yard line where it's second and goal again. Conklin over the middle. Touchdown! Joe Howard Johnson.
That was a beautiful play by Kerry Conklin. He had a man. A defender had his arms wrapped around him, and he still. That's good to show you how strong his arm arm is. He really couldn't even plant his feet. He just threw that all with his arm, it appeared, from here.
Well, let me ask you something. I'm sorry.
He's getting pressured there. Well, it's kind of hard to tell, but he was definitely wrapped up. But he sees the open man and gets the ball right to him.
Well, if you're Joe Gibbs, you're going to take Conklin out? Or are you going to keep enjoying this?
I think I would enjoy it myself. Low Miller for the point after, and the Redskins finally get a touchdown after totally dominating the first half of play and earlier settling for only a couple of field goals. But right now, with 5:04 to go in the half, the Conklin touchdown pass gives them a 13-0 lead. Redskins on top 13-0 after Joe Howard Johnson made the touchdown catch from Kerry Conklin.
Eric McMillan and A.B. Brown are deep.
And Low Miller will kick to A.B. Brown and Eric McMillan. High floater this time. A.B. Brown at the 10. Found some room up the middle and slants out to the 29-yard line.
Brought down by Tony Harker.
Okay, we're going to see the touchdown one more time. Conklin get knocked backwards, but he still got that great arm. Howard, it must have been a great pass pattern there. Joe found the seam there because he was all by himself in the end zone.
And the scoring drive, the Redskins aided by a couple of penalties.
Jeff Blake.
Take it all the way in, and Jeff Blake has checked in as the Jets quarterback here late in the first half. Hands it off to Freeman McNeil, the veteran running back out across the 40 to the 41. One of the crowd favorites here in New York for years and years. Gain of 12.
That was a beautiful run.
Brought down by Johnny Thomas.
He just did a quick fake. Look there.
41.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything at the point of attack. He just cut that ball back and picked up about 10.
Looks pretty lively for a 12-year veteran.
Little old troublemaker.
Jeff Blake, the rookie out of East Carolina, in at quarterback for Browning Nagel. who did not have a successful first half. Play action from Blake. Floats it downfield and overthrew. Their top draft choice, Johnny Mitchell, the tight end, had him wide open.
That's got to be frustrating for the Jets. They've had a couple people open, the one pass down here that Nagel threw, and then it goes through the man's hands, and now you got a receiver that's out there, and they've got to get some kind of offense going, and they've yet to do that.
Second and 10.
Blake had a tough outing against the Eagles last week. 3 out of 10, only 18 yards, had an interception, and fumbled another one. Kenny O'Brien, if he were signed, might be in right now. And there's Jeff Rutledge warming up for the Redskins. It looks like he'll be in for Washington at quarterback. And Kerry Conklin can go sit in the whirlpool.
I think they'll pack him a nice one.
McNeil again, big hole into Washington territory down to the 48-yard line. It will be a first down. Gain of 11, 23 yards on 2 carries for Freeman McNeil.
Looks like he's got a little limp. Yeah, they start this ball off, but you can see that they don't drive a great job by the defense by the Redskins. But there's no pursuit. They get the backside sealed, and McNeil sees that, and there's a big hole over the middle.
Well, he has the same cuts he had as a rookie, just a little slow.
First time the Jets have been in Redskins territory. They should have been at the Washington 5, except for a long pass that was dropped. Sideline a little high, knocked away at the last moment. Johnny Thomas got up and got a hand on it to knock Blake's pass away.
Yeah, it was a nice defensive move there by Thomas. I think this kid has the ball in his grasp, and he just knocks it back out. Right there and there, yeah, absolutely. Very heads up, very keen.
It was Rob Carpenter they picked up from New England. Thomas, of course, Redskin fans will remember, played briefly for the team in '89 and '90. And did a nice job there. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Blake completes it over the middle down to the 41-yard line. Little dump off, and Wilbur Marshall makes the tackle after Terrence Mathis gets the grab.
Wilbur Marshall made the stop.
Yeah, Mathis just coming open across the middle here. I noticed that Alvin Walton can't make the play there, but he still tries to get a piece of McNeil. He can't get the ball carrier, so he'll get the next best thing, the closest man in the green jersey.
He'll hit somebody, won't he?
That's right. He comes to play.
Important preseason for Alvin Walton, and of course he lost his job a year ago as Danny Copeland got the starting safety job, and I thought was a tremendous contributor to the Redskins. 2:24 to go in the half. 3rd and 3. Jets trying to get on the board for the first time. Comes the blitz. Blake guns this one. Tip ball. Incomplete. Everybody had a shot at that one.
Sure did. Thought we were at Camden Yards there for a second. A lazy fly into the outfield.
Well, what he's been doing recently is doing a lot of coverage control routes, and those are very hard to cover. Now, that time the ball got up high and flew around for everybody, but those coverage control routes are really tough.
Mathis was lucky that one didn't stick to him, because Blake really rifled it in there. Little pooch punt after the snap. Inside the 10, knocked out of bounds inside the 5. They'll mark it out near the 2.5-yard line. And Louis Aguiar with a 38-yard perfectly placed punt to the sideline.
Oh, he just missed that. It was in his hands.
Looked like a soccer player taking it on the hop, popping it down there.
Almost looked like a drop kick, which we haven't seen since Jim Thorpe retired.
So the Redskins have to take over inside their own 3, and good coverage by the Jets downfield. And Jeff Rutledge, the new Washington quarterback. Used primarily as Chip Lohmiller's favorite holder a year ago. but a veteran quarterback in his 14th year out of Alabama. And Robert Green is the new deep back. And Green will get the carry. Burrows his way out to about the 5-yard line. Redskins look at him and say, here's a young man out of William and Mary, 5'8", 207. Hasn't played that much, but seems to catch the coach's attention. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. The Redskins leading the Jets 13-0. A totally dominant first-half performance here at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. The Jets have been held only 3 first downs and 36 yards on offense. And Kerry Conklin, who is now out at quarterback, was superb.
Well, the Redskins have been in total control of the game, but right now it's a very critical time. You've got basically 2 minutes left in the first half, and they really need to move the ball out and not give the Jets an easy opportunity to get some points on the board.
Robert Green, the deep man, has room to run. Got away from Coors. Across the 15 to the 19-yard line. First down, Redskins. Well, I say he isn't very big, doesn't have much speed, but he just makes the plays.
Just makes yards. It looks like a little Otis Wansley. This is a nice play. He gets out there, and he actually has a man one-on-one out here in the open field, and he just makes him miss right there. Makes a couple nice moves.
You know, he was quiet in college and got well over 3,000 yards, so the young guy can run.
He's actually about the same size as Ricky Irvins, isn't he?
Yes.
Here he goes again. Another great cut to the outside. 30, 35, 40. Finally pushed out of bounds by Brian Washington.
He seems to have what they call, great lateral movement.
Yeah.
He can kind of crab to the side one way or the other. Here he comes. There's a nice hole here, though. Look at this. It's just all to himself, but now he's got somebody one-on-one, makes 2 men miss. Gets past the third one there.
Well, he's certainly making an impression. 3 carries, 36 yards.
That's instinctive running there, folks.
That's the way Bobby Mitchell used to do it at Illinois.
I was more scared.
And rightfully so. People that are chasing you are always bigger. Rutledge, little half roll, stays a long time in the pocket, and Johnson can't come up with it in midfield. Well, remember back a couple of years ago when Rutledge came in, played the second half. I believe it was against Detroit. May have had the best second half a quarterback ever had.
That was super.
2nd and 10.
Well, it must be a little warm down there on the field. Robert Green signaled to the sidelines that he needed somebody to come in and give him a spell.
Well, Brian Mitchell going to get a chance to run a couple here.
That's sort of a no-no for a rookie trying to make the team, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if I'd be doing that. But, of course, Mitchell said, thanks, kid.
And Mitchell in his 3rd year can call him kid. Pressure, flag is down. So's Rutledge. Glenn Cadrez and Martin Gunn applying the pressure.
Well, I don't think that the Redskin offensive line has been real productive tonight, at least for protecting the passer.
Mo Elwan Anibi, he just can't afford to get hurt again.
That's been the story of his 2 years on IR, and he's had a strained pectoral muscle, and he looks like he's hurt again.
He's been nicked up during training camp this year, if I'm not mistaken. That looks like maybe it's a...
Had an ugly right arm, had the blood draining down from that damaged muscle. Penalty is declined against the Skins. Spot the ball at the 35. It'll be 3rd and 15.
I think he's got something wrong with one of his legs, don't you, Mike? Bob?
That's what it looked like they were doing, John.
Well, he came off the field all right, but it looks like...
Well, you hate to see it. I mean, some guys with a wealth of talent just end up injury prone. They get hurt and it never stops. And that's been the story so far from Mo Elowanibi. 3rd and 15 for Rutledge. Straight 4-man rush. Plenty of time and goes deep. Johnson out there and couldn't get to it. Johnson had a step on Tony Stargell. And a pretty well thrown ball by Rutledge.
Well, he put it back the only place he could. The only person that could have caught it was going to be Johnson. It was just a little beyond his reach.
And for the first time tonight, the Redskins will punt the football. And in to kick, Jeff Fight out of Memphis State, a free agent signed this year, who's gotten tremendous hang time in practice.
Nobody would have anticipated when camp opened, but I believe there's a fight on for the punter's job.
Sure looks like it. They need consistency from him, and that kick won't help. Shanked off the side, does get a good bounce, but not a good kick from Jeff Fight. 36 yards with the roll.
Well, Jeff is known for his height and hang time, but I think he would have liked a few more yards out of that.
So the Jets get the ball back with 45 seconds to go in the half. And they have been virtually inept on offense against a real hustling Redskin defense here in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, they've been overwhelmed by the Redskins from the very beginning.
I mean, everybody has played well. They've gotten pressure from the line. The secondary's been outstanding. The linebacker's been very active.
I don't think they've had a drive much over 5 or 6 plays.
No. Jeff Blake out of the shotgun. Comes the blitz. Blake to the sideline and overthrows it badly. Walton out there with coverage on Rob Carpenter.
Well, it's evident, really, that the Redskins' defense is just in a different class right now than the Jet offense, and I think you're seeing a team from the Super Bowl that really is picking it up right where it left off. And that's the reason I think, personally, going into the season, the Redskins were just so dominant last year. You'd be hard-pressed to bet against them from not, at least going back to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Anything can happen once you get there.
Pretty tough not to pick them and Buffalo to do it again, as well as they played in '91. Little jump pass. You don't see that one very often. McNeil makes the catch to 39.
Well, I think that the Redskin defense is just so impressive right now. It's almost reduced to just a sandlot football. The quarterback's got to scramble around, just try and find somebody open. And you don't see any continuity really on the Jets offense.
And this play will come back because of a holding call.
Holding, 79, offense. Still second down.
Redskins have some of their second-line personnel in there on the defensive line right now. Keith Willis, number 93. Plan B acquisition from New England, and Bobby Wilson, last year's #1 draft choice.
Let's get a chance to look at his secondary, too.
Bobby, are there any of the new kids in camp that really have a chance to make the defensive line for the Redskins?
Shane Conlon has played very well, but it's going to be tough for him also.
He might be redshirted.
This one through the hands of McNeil. The ball was thrown a little hard for the pattern.
He's been around too long to say he heard footsteps. I just think that he took his mind off the football there for a second.
And Bruce Coslett, after seeing his team crush the Eagles last week 41-14, has got to be a little depressed about this effort so far at home.
Yeah, he looked a little despondent, or not necessarily despondent. Maybe the word is disgusted there several times, and rightly so.
3rd and 20 with 32 seconds to go in the half. The Skins with a chance to get the ball back. Monty Coleman out there at one of the linebacker spots now. McNeil, Alvoid Mays came up from the corner, forced it back in, and the Redskins swarmed all over him. Bobby Wilson was in on the stop, and the Skins will call time with 23 seconds to go.
Well, the Redskins still have their main men in at linebacker. Andre Collins and Wilbur Marshall and Monty Coleman are all three in there, at least on that play.
Can't quite remember who said it, but I thought it was a very accurate quote. If there was a Hall of Fame for third down linebackers, Monty Coleman would have been the first guy in it.
I think that was Larry Peccatello.
Been doing it for a long time and doing it very, very well. Scott McAllister will try his second shot at punting.
Well, they got one for one Pro Bowl fullback, so what the heck? Who knows?
And Terry Smith is back for the Skins, standing at his own 37-yard line, the rookie wide receiver. Still time on the clock, 23 seconds to go in the half. Skins already up 13-0. Pretty good kick this time. They'll let it hit, but it takes a Redskin bounce back near midfield. Down, they'll mark it at the 48-yard line. So 14 seconds to go in the half. Redskins have the ball back. And we were talking at the beginning of the broadcast about Joe Gibbs being virtually distraught over the performance last week. You'd think right now he would be delighted with what he's seen in the first half.
I'll tell you what, he is reaching back in his back pocket. He's grabbing that rabbit foot and just rubbing the heck out of it. This has been great for him. He's been able to use all of his young kids, all of the Plan B guys. He's getting them all in there and getting a look see.
The only downside might be pass protection.
Right. I think that has been a little bit weak, but they've done a nice job of drive blocking. I think they've pushed the Jets around pretty good run blocking.
See what Rutledge can do. Three-man rush. Screen to Green. Very shifty runner. Cuts it back inside. Brought down at the 45-yard line. And 5 seconds to go. Green might have been advised to try to get out of bounds on that play and save the timeout.
Well, he's going to make some rookie mistakes. If he'd been thinking then, he would have went and gotten his 1st and 10 before he started juking. But he'll know that. Bro will bring it out to him in the meeting, and he'll understand.
I think visions of sugar plums were dancing in his head.
Well, that's the tendency, isn't it? You're a rookie. You want to make the big play, the big impression.
I mean, you know, he could run it out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock, and that's the right thing. But what if? What if he goes all the way?
I can break another 8 tackles. Redskins have 1 timeout left, but there's only 5 seconds on the clock. And right now they are not even in Chip Lohmiller's great range at about 62 yards.
Second and 3. At the Jets 25.
Jets have 1 defender standing at the goal line. They're waiting for Rutledge to throw it just as far as he can. And he does. A couple of people had a shot at it, but it's incomplete. And that's the end of the first half. And a very impressive first half for the Redskins as they lead it 13-0. Steve Buckhantz, what do you think?
Well, I tell you what, Mike, a couple of things stood out in my mind. First of all, Kerry Conklin, and also flashes of greatness again from Robert Green, the rookie running back from William & Mary. As you mentioned, he is a shifty guy, and he looks good when he gets that football. Mo Elowanibi just got the wind knocked out of him, but a little more serious for Conklin. How hard did he get hit? Well, on one of those hits that he took, word from the Redskins sideline is that Conklin lost a tooth and swallowed it in the process of getting hit. So he took a beating back there, and I think that's all you're going to see from Kerry Conklin today. He survived, and he looked darn good. Rutledge will now come out in the second half and get some time. The Redskins lead at 13-0 here at halftime from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We'll return with our halftime activities right after this.
Tonight's Redskins versus Jets preseason game is brought to you in part by your Washington area Ford dealers. If you didn't get a Ford, you didn't get a deal. By Midas. Remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody. By Nestea Iced Tea. And by McDonald's. Stop by McDonald's for a gold medal meal.
And it is halftime at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Redskins lead the New York Jets 13-0. Hi again, everybody. Steve Buckhantz with you at the break. The Redskins' total domination in the first half, a defensive performance that was nothing short of sensational as the Skins limit the Jets to 38 yards total offense unofficially while registering 173 behind another good performance from Kerry Conklin. A costly one that won't hurt him, but we'll show you why in just a second. The Redskins got on the board first after a nice drive, and Chip Lohmiller converted on a 22-yard field goal with 7:30 to go in the first quarter to make it 3-0 Redskins. Again, they drove the ball downfield, were not able to put it in the end zone, but they did get a 27-yarder from Lohmiller with 1:07 to play in the half, or rather in the first quarter, and that made it 6-0. They finally did get it in the end zone when Conklin hit Joe Howard Johnson over the middle. Johnson wide open, makes the catch, hangs on to the ball, and with 5:04 to play in the half, the Redskins were on top 13-0. Now, Conklin took some vicious hits. In fact, one of them was a roughing the passer penalty, and he had a tooth knocked out. This may have very well been the play, as he takes a rough shot from Dennis Byrd right there. Conklin had his tooth knocked out, but swallowed it. So I guess the tooth fairy will just have to believe him tomorrow morning. Nevertheless, he looked good. And as I said at the end of the first half, Robert Green showing flashes of brilliance running the football. A good running effort from Ernest Miner, who carried the ball a couple of times early. And then Gerald Riggs came in and picked up some yardage. So really the Redskin running attack looking a little bit better today, certainly, than it did last week against the Dolphins. The passing attack looking good. And right now the defense has just been superb. 13-0 at the half. Let's send you back upstairs to Mike Patrick, Bobby Mitchell, and John Riggins.
Buck, thank you very much, and I think you characterized it perfectly. The Redskins dominant in just about every phase of the ball game, and you see Jeff Rutledge warming up for the third quarter of action.
You ask yourself, are the Jets, that bad, or are the Redskins playing that good? I think really the Redskins are playing that good. I think this is so typical of what they did last year. Everybody they played, they made them look bad.
And Bruce Coslett has seen his team just many fans on hand tonight here at the Meadowlands.
Not a lot, and you have to remember this Jet team was a playoff team last year. And, they have high aspirations this year. This isn't the kind of performance they want to put on in front of their hometown fans. But I'm telling you, I think the Redskins' mystique is still at work here.
Mitchell deep along with Terry Smith, and Smith will return the second half kickoff. Slithers out past the 25 to the 26, and a couple of flags go down. Smith is another one of those players the Redskin coaching staff has been impressed with in training camp. Again, not with great speed or size, but he makes the plays just the way Green has.
I think what's unfortunate by people that are drafted by the Redskins or free agents that are signed is the Redskins have such a great team. What are your chances realistically of making this team? They're not very good. I mean, if say a Tampa Bay or somebody, you might have a chance to work in the NFL, but you come here and it's rough.
Here are the first half stats, and you can see just the total dominance for the Redskins. The Jets had only 8 yards passing and 3 first downs. Both teams had a turnover, and the time of possession 21-28 to 8:32. And John, back to your point, you wonder if other clubs look at the Redskins' 4th and 5th receivers, 4th and 5th running backs, and say these are guys we might be able to get late in the preseason. Redskins keep it on the ground out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, and Green, who has been impressive in this ball game and impressive ever since he arrived in Carlisle.
He really has been, but you have to give the offensive line credit. They've really opened some nice holes for him. There was a classic example right there. There was a little, I think it looked probably like a 50 gut that he broke back up over the middle, but there's a huge crease inside.
Well, Robert Green doesn't have the great speed, but he has what a running back must have, and that's a quick start. Quick acceleration off the ball.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Rutledge throws the out, nearly had it picked off as McMillan got a hand on it, intended for Joe Howard Johnson. There's a flag down back in the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'm not sure whose fault that was, but I'm not so sure that ball should have been thrown. It looked like Rutledge thought maybe Howard should have went a little deeper with his pass route. I don't know, but that was a dangerous pass to throw. And Jeff, being a 12, 13-year player, might have known better than that. He's got his man there, but see, he goes ahead and kind of telegraphs it. You can almost tell that that's where he's going.
And boy, if you telegraph it against McMillan, he's going to be there. He's one of the great gambling ball hawks in this league.
Exactly what I was saying. Great anticipation.
It's declined.
He will take a dare.
Mo Elowanibi, who was called for the penalty, but it's declined. And they're trying McMillan a corner this year. He lost his starting safety job, and he certainly has the speed and the instincts to play corner, doesn't he, Bob?
Oh, yeah. He is just a super athlete. And he has great vision. That's one thing that a defensive back must have.
3rd and 3. Hobbs in motion. 4-man rush. Rutledge now under pressure, and he's sacked back at the 18-yard line. Ball came loose, but after the play, Mark Gunn, number 96, gets the sack.
Well, you have to believe that Kerry Conklin's stock is improving tremendously as far as the backup job goes, if and when Mark Rippon comes to camp. There really wasn't too many people there, but like's been going on in the first half. There's just a little bit too much pressure on Rutledge.
Fike will punt to Mathis. Last punt, Fike did not get off a good one. High floater this time. And Mathis will let it bounce. It goes out of bounds, takes a Jets bounce. Out of bounds to the Redskin 49. That kick only 32 yards. And the free agent from Memphis State not doing himself a world of good tonight in the punting department.
So I think what we're seeing here is that Wayne Severe's giving Fight a chance to make the team. They basically know what Kelly Goodburn can do. He punted all last year, and he's a good, solid performer. Fight has a lot of potential, I think the Redskins feel, and they're going to see if he can tap into it. And I would imagine that they're just a little apprehensive about letting him do the job full time.
Just a couple of weeks, the Redskins go up against the Raiders live from the L.A. Coliseum at a special time, Saturday, August 22nd. It starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Hope you'll be with us for that one. And Browning Nagel is back in at quarterback. And dropped right over the middle by Rob Carpenter, the two-year man out of Syracuse. Now, here is an interesting thing that Bruce Coslett has done. He goes back to his starting quarterback. Why would you do that?
Well, I kind of thought maybe when they started the game that this was going to be his game plan. But Nagel still, they take him out in the first half. He didn't have much going on, but I think it was all part of their plan to bring him in and start him the second half. At least that's what I'd picked up for reading some of the local newspapers.
Let him to play first and third.
I think that right now he needs all the experience he can get. They've made the decision to go with him, and they're gonna more or less force him to drink, I guess.
He's only hit 1 out of 8 tonight, but has had several drops. Mobile, strong arm. Showed you the arm that time down the middle. That looked like another catchable ball, and Leroy Kennard couldn't come up with it.
Kennard did a little short arm on him there.
Well, one of the Jet offensive linemen looked like they wanted to keep a souvenir jersey of Tim Johnson. They just about stripped it off of him, and I think the refs caught him.
Holding. 66. Offense. It's declined.
And that's their best lineman, Dave Cadigan, the 5-year veteran guard out of USC.
Well, when you're trying to get back into a game quickly, as they are trying to do here, you want to do those coverage control routes. And guys have got to catch those, because you get 5 here, 7 there, and finally you're moving down the field and you're doing well. And you want it to be with the guy you want to be your number 1 guy. You want him to do it. So right now, Nagel isn't getting any help from the guys.
Redskins decline the penalty, so it's 3rd and 10. High snap. Alvoid Mays on the blitz. Nagel avoids 2 sidearms and intercepted. Kurt Gouveia picks it off. And Nagel trying to make something happen. Couldn't get much on the sidearm toss.
I'll tell you, it's going to be tough to score on the Redskins this year. That's a great play. Nagel should have never thrown this ball. He's getting a lot of pressure here. There's great coverage, number 1. He gets pressured by Mays. And then he just throws it out there sidearm, and he really doesn't know where he's throwing it. Right to Kurt Gouveia. Great play by Gouveia.
Timeout, 13:15 to go in the quarter. The Skins by 13. Kurt Gouveia's interception has given the Redskins outstanding field position back in Jets territory, and here's how he did it.
Matter of being in the right place at the right time. Alvoid Mays comes in there and puts pressure on Nagel, and then he just sidearms it out there. But right at the end here, I think Alvoid, we don't get to see it.
Rutledge looked like a jailbreak, and he's down at the 45-yard line as Bill Pickell, the veteran out of Rutgers, burst through. Let's go back to that last play again.
Right at the end of this, he's forcing him right here. He hurries Nagel, and Nagel just tries to get rid of the ball, which I think he should have eaten right there at that point. Throws the interception, and there's Alvoid over the top, slam dunk, which proves my theory is correct. See, he's smaller than Nagel, and they don't throw the flag.
Got away with one there.
Absolutely.
So now the Redskins facing a 2nd and 20. And Rutledge will hand this off to Gerald Riggs. I think right now Rutledge is trying to lead Kerry Conklin in the lost tooth department.
he may end up doing that before the night's over. I tell you, I can't believe Gerald Riggs is out there. They'd have hit me with a blowtorch right about now just to warm me up. I mean, this guy's been around for 11 years. He's ran between those tackles quite a bit.
Have not seen John settle, and there is Kerry Conklin. 3rd and 19. Jets trying to apply some pressure on defense. Rutledge under pressure again. Floats this one and just threw it away. That's experience. He just got rid of it. And ends up flat on his back again.
Well, I tell you what, the Redskin offense has certainly dropped off a step since Kerry Conklin left the game. Which I say is a positive sign, more or less. I think you definitely want to see Conklin playing as well as he is, as opposed to maybe Jeff Rutledge, although Rutledge really hasn't gotten a chance in his defense. Sure. But he's just really been getting pressured back there.
Fight is on to punt again. Terrence Mathis waits at his own 10-yard line. Pretty kick this time. Mathis at the 14. Got a seam. And Fight made the saving tackle. And if he doesn't, it's goodbye.
All the way.
22-yard return after a 41-yard punt.
Well, Bobby, as a former return man, that's the most embarrassing thing to have happen to you, isn't it? Have the punter or the kicker tackle you. Lohmiller did it in the first half.
You might as well go down to the end of the bench and sit down.
11:48 to go, third quarter. The Skins still pitching a shutout. Offensive line coach Jim Hannafin saying, hey, guys, we're getting our quarterbacks banged around all over the place out there. Here's what I want you to do. Jets take over at their own 36. A.B. Brown out of West Virginia across the 40 to the 41-yard line.
Ruff, when you're a Jets fan, the most exciting thing is the wave when it's going around the game you come to.
And so far tonight, that is an odds-on favorite as number one. Offensively and defensively, they've really been stopped. Second and 6, Browning Nagel in at quarterback to play the third period. Brown cuts it outside. And nearly ran over a couple of fans who are now on the field. A.B. Brown running a sweep and cut back in just at the point where a fan ran by him, and now security is going to be out there to drag these clowns off. And they're very lucky that Mike Curtis was not on the football field.
No, but they're unlucky that Eric Williams was. Eric tried to stop one of them. You got to admit, though, he was wide open.
Yes, he was.
4-yard gain. 3rd and 2 at the 45.
Yeah, Eric Williams is definitely filling in where Mike Curtis left off. There he is. Hey, this is my ballpark. Don't tread on me.
Wish he'd have gotten a better shot. 3rd and 2 for the Jets. Nagel under pressure. Deep sideline complete. First down. Redskin 34-yard line. Mayhew made the tackle on Mathis.
Is that an apparition? Did they complete a pass?
No, they did. The second one tonight.
Okay.
That's 2.
Pinch me. I've got to be dreaming. Actually, it's a nicely thrown football. And a good catch.
Of course, Nagel is working under the handicap of not having Al Toon and Rob Moore, his top 2 receivers in there. And not many other people have been able to catch a football for him tonight.
Been on the ground more often than not.
Brown, they run the sweep. Stokes dove and missed him. A.B. Brown to the 15 to the 10. Brad Edwards had to drag him out of bounds. A gain of 24.
Well, this is what Coach Gibbs doesn't really want to see. He doesn't want to see his defense start to lose the continuity, although he has a lot of second teamers in there right now. This kid does a real good job of following his blocking, and they finally give him a seam in there. He finds it, and it's nothing but clear sailing once he gets through there.
guy has excellent
Brad Edwards
speed.
has to drag him down. Yes, he does.
At 5'9", 215, he played fullback at West Virginia. Another first down, Jets. Their best drive of the ball game. They'll keep it on the ground, and Chafee is in at the running back spot. Picks up about 3. Got him Plan B from Atlanta, second-year player. Kerry Conklin able to smile. Let's see if we can find that missing tooth. He's not going to give us that shot, but you can tell he can feel it.
I don't know. I haven't been right since Buck reported that he had got a tooth knocked out and swallowed it all in the same play.
2nd and 6. Chaffee again has room around the outside. Touchdown, Jets. And when he was at the 5-yard line, Redskins rookie defensive end Shane Collins was already protesting that he was held and dragged down.
It did look like a hold from here, but obviously the refs aren't going to, they don't see it that way. They have it completely sealed off out there. There really wasn't much to that run. Great job of blocking.
So the Jets, after being totally dominated, are back in the ball game, down 13-6, and the point after will make it 13-7. And Raul Alegre filling in for the longtime veteran Pat Leahy, who retired, gets the point after, and it's 13-7. We've got a timeout, 8:42 to go, third quarter of play from the Meadowlands. It's now a 6-point ball game. We told you Redskins defensive end Shane Collins, number 90, complained that he was being held. Watch him on the left-hand side of your screen. You'll see he had a valid complaint.
Yeah, I think you need some of the fellows on Capitol Hill to lobby that one for him. He was definitely held.
But it's not called, and the Jets on that drive picked up more yardage than they had the entire ball game, and Chaffee took it in for the touchdown.
Well, I think for the Redskins, they've been so dominant in the first half, and they come out and start this second half, and the Jets have been so inept, you have a tendency to get a little complacent, and I think that's what just happened. And the Jets, their backs are to the wall. They've got to come out of this game with something positive, so they're not going to turn it off. They can't afford to. They're a young team. They're trying to get back in the playoffs, advance a little further, possibly to the Super Bowl. So Cosmo's going to keep the fire lit under them throughout this whole game.
The wind has blown the ball off the tee a couple of times for Aguiar. So they'll hold it for him this time, and the Redskins have Terry Smith, number 24, and Joe Howard Johnson, number 80, deep to receive the kick. Johnson, who would like to make up for a couple of fumbles last week from the 5. Ouch. Drilled at the 13-yard line. Kurt Barber planted him.
There were some bodies flying on that play, Mike.
It's the way you make the team in preseason.
11 yards on the return. First and 10 for the Redskins from their own 16.
Howard gets the ball here, and he gives it his all. He cuts it back into the middle here, but there are some green jerseys flying downfield at a rather rapid rate of speed, I'd say.
So the Redskins need to get it back on track. They start from their own 16 with Gerald Riggs as the running back behind Rutledge. Riggs will get the carry. Not much room. Stopped by Mario Johnson, the rookie tackle, 6'3", 313. And look at the Jets players. All at once, they have all the spirit in the world.
Well, this can happen to you sometimes when you do get out and you control the game like the Redskins have done.
Well, you have to believe that Joe Gibbs is not going to stand by idly on the sideline and let his team just wander their way through this half.
No, he's going to try to keep them in this ball game. I mean, they're still in control of it, but they're starting to, it's slipping away on them a little bit right now.
Rutledge throws the hitch, complete, but for no yardage.
McMillan read that one. If he'd have been there just a step sooner, he wanted that one. He was looking at 6 points right there.
Joe Howard Johnson got the ball wrapped up immediately. And McMillan is the kind of guy that you want out at the corner. He's got all the guts and all the cockiness in the world.
Well, he's an athlete. And he makes the receiver change his mind with a lot of things he want to do.
And he's getting a lot of work out there as they try to see if he can play corner. You'd have to bet on opening day he's out at left corner for this football team. 3rd and 7, Skins. Rutledge to Hobbs. Hobbs fighting for the first down, didn't make it.
I think that Green makes a little bit of a mistake here. He stays in the block, but unfortunately, he keeps backing up. He doesn't need to do that, and you'll see he's right in Rutledge's way. He actually forces Jeff back a little further. He wants to set up, but Green is in his way, and he has to drop back even a little more.
Hobbs stopped a yard short of the first down, and Fight comes back in to kick. Thomas Woods, second-year player out of Tennessee, is back to take it. Beautiful punt this time. Fight just crushed it. Thomas Woods with a nice return across the 30 to the 33. 9 yards after a gorgeous 51-yard punt from Jeff Fight.
Well, that's the potential that Wayne Severe's been talking about all preseason, I think, and that's exactly the way that this punting duel has really developed. If he can become more consistent, we might be looking at a changing of the guards there.
And another Jets injury, and Mario Johnson is down.
He has about 3 weeks to develop that consistency, and that's really what's going to be the name of the game for Fight.
And as you said earlier, the Redskins know what they have in Kelly Goodburn, a good, consistent punter. We'll check out the injury in a moment. Bruce Coslett of the Jets anxiously scanning the field. Mario Johnson, one of his young defensive linemen, has been down quite a while. The second injury the Jets have sustained in this ballgame. Now Johnson able to get to his feet with some assistance. May have had his bell rung or had the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything serious. No extremities, arms, legs.
Right now, the Jets have taken the momentum away from the Redskins, who had totally dominated this game. And the score is 13-7. Washington leading by only 6. And the Jets have their third quarterback in there right now, Troy Taylor. 3-year man out of California. He's only had a week of practice, just signed a new contract. Play action to A.B. Brown, and that one was tipped. It looked like Shane Collins got a fingertip on it. Collins seen as a pass rush specialist, second-round draft choice out of Arizona State. Bobby, they say he needs to work on his strength if he's going to be a full-time down lineman.
Yeah, he came in a little weak, but he has good running ability, and that he starts with some good pluses, you know.
2nd and 10 for the Jets, 6:33 to go, third period. A.B. Brown found a hole. Alvin Walton finally helped bring him down as he reached the 37-yard line.
Looked like a nice job by Raven Caldwell right there. He fought off a blocker and got in there on that play.
Caldwell, of course, getting an opportunity in the middle this year because of Matt Millen's retirement.
3rd and 5 from the 38.
Ted Rogers, you will not see tonight. He's injured. Grew up in Bethesda, went to Landon High School. Be out with a sprained knee. And Boone Powell was also injured, a Redskins draft choice who's since been waived. So a little thin in the middle there. 3rd and 5, and Troy Taylor uses one of the Jets' timeouts with 5:55 to go in the third period. So we've got a timeout. Redskins still up by 6, and we'll be back in a moment. Redskins lead it by 6 here in the third quarter, and you're looking at Stan Humphries, the Washington reserve quarterback. I guess you could say odd man out would be the best label on that jersey.
Well, there's an old saying that the wheels of justice grind slow, but they grind fine. But I don't necessarily think that that's the case for Stan. I thought last year, you know, he's been doing this for a whole year now, but the year before, I thought he had a chance to play for this team, but it's obvious he doesn't.
And the Redskins have tried several times to work a deal for him. Can't do it either to their satisfaction or the teams that they have talked to, but you just know that he is certainly not in the future plans of the Washington Redskins, barring a couple of major injuries. Incomplete, intended for Carpenter. Walton and Alvoid Mays on the coverage as Troy Taylor hung in the pocket as long as he could on 3rd and 5, and now they'll have to punt it away again.
Well,
Wayne Sevier wearing a microphone down there for us. So, Wayne, what do you have up your sleeve on this one?
Well, we got a few young guys in there getting a shot. We're going to run a left return here. You should see a guy pulling out on the right and setting a one-man wall, and we're going to come back towards our sideline here.
Smith is deep to receive the punt of McAllister. Beautiful high kick. Smith from the 25, and with the height of that punt, really never had much of an opportunity to return that.
Now, that's the way you're supposed to punt.
32-yard kick, but no return.
That's right.
Getting back to Stan Humphries, it's really got to be tough for a guy to come to camp and be coming into camp under the circumstances he did. I mean, He knows that he's really there just to work some receivers out, really. And that before the training camp's over with, that he'll either be given his release or he'll be traded.
And one person who still covets him is former Redskins general manager Bobby Beathard, who's now out in San Diego.
Illegally downfield. The penalty of 6 yards. First down.
Redskins decline the illegal man downfield early penalty and will take over at their own 28-yard line.
I'm afraid if I was Stan Humphries, I might be a tiny 290 by now, Mike. Might let that waistline go.
Well, then he'll never get his wish.
Well, that's true.
Redskins go back to the ground, cutting it outside. Robert Green down the sideline. Boy, has he been impressive. Doesn't have the straightaway great speed, but he's got enough, and he has tremendous quickness.
Ricky who? I'll tell you, it looks like just a year ago. It's the same body build and everything.
What he has,
and they're very similar runners, I think.
He has that great acceleration once he gets out there. As you say, he's not fast, but he has the quickness, and he just quick run you to death here.
5 carries, 65 yards for the rookie free agent out of William & Mary.
Kind of a minor thing, but he should have had that ball in the other hand just so he could protect it with his inside arm.
Green will try the other side and chase down from behind, this time dropped by Marvin Washington.
Coach Bro may have him run a few sprints, I think. I think his legs are a little tired right now. He had a few runs in the first half, and that really, for a kid coming out of college, it's really kind of inexcusable. But he doesn't seem to have the acceleration right here. I'm sorry, Bob, go ahead.
Well, the pursuit was very good, a good angle on him. And that's a slow-hitting play anyway, so he couldn't get that one going.
And the Jets have done a very good job of stringing it out. 2nd and 16. Rutledge wants the screen. Green. Oh, the Jets diagnosed that very well. Bill Piquel, number 71, the wily veteran, the first one there. Like you said, John, earlier, that's the mandatory second-half screen pass.
Well, actually, I'm surprised that we saw that play. I figured that was the way they ran it in the first half. Actually, they made some yards on it, so I think the policy is that they keep using the screen until it doesn't make any yards, and then you throw it out for the year.
Well, it's gone.
Which will happen. Exactly. That's the last time we'll see it.
That's John Riggins talking, Coach, not Bobby Mitchell.
Now, Bob, we've done this for 3 years in a row now.
He jump on me tomorrow. You.
Only if he watches this broadcast, and I don't think he will. We're safe, Bob. Trust.
Yeah.
3rd and 22. Rutledge under pressure. Still holds on to it. Throws complete to Hobbs. Stephen Hobbs trying to find a way to get some blocking, brought down at the 50.
One more step and he's been running.
Yeah.
Well, once again, I think the pass protection's breaking down here. They just really aren't doing it. Now, he can't find anybody right away, and he gets forced out of the pocket, more or less, then gets a little hit on him.
Boy, nice effort by Hobbs to keep this play alive. And as you said, Bobby, one more man, and he's got a chance.
A long run looking at him there.
Fight to kick from midfield. High, booming punt, fair catch made at the 16-yard line. Another good kick by Fight. 34 yards, no return. So after a shaky start, Fight has done a good job. One of the Redskins is down hurt.
Terry Hogue, I think so it is.
It is. Number 34, Terry Hogue.
Looks like an ankle injury from here.
Well, Hogue was out a while last year, as you know, with some injuries, and he doesn't need this. He needs a lot more work.
Redskins, of course, will be going to London next week and then return to play the Los Angeles Raiders in the L.A. Coliseum. That's Saturday, August 22nd. Mark your calendar for an unusual time. It's a 4 p.m. start, East Coast time. Skins going against Al Davis's Los Angeles Raiders. Hogue comes up limping and will be helped off the field. Speaking of Al Davis, he was one of the inductees into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, along with our friend John Riggins. And John, our heartiest congratulations to you. Well-earned honor.
Thank you, Mike.
Way to go, John.
Well, if you stay with something long enough. Never give up.
Joining Bobby Mitchell. I'm really sandwiched by talent up here.
Well, right when I thought I had to wait a long time, I mean, look at poor Al Davis.
Yeah, that's right. And John Mackey.
And there's another, that's for sure, John Mackey.
2:51 to go in the quarter. Jets have the ball back down by 6. They'll run the ball out to about the 20-yard line. Chafee got it out there. Bobby Wilson was in on the tackle. Alvin Walton, as he so often has done, comes up in the secondary with that run support. Chafee had the Jets only score the touchdown run on the last possession. Quarterback is third stringer Troy Taylor. Redskins come with a blitz. Taylor with time, tipped up in the air, picked off by Caldwell. Raven Caldwell to the 1.
Great play by Caldwell. Really nice play. He wanted that 6 points, too.
He sure did.
He made a great run with that, too.
And little Patrick Nelson somehow managed to bring him down, but there is a flag on the play back at the 25.
Pass interference. Number 40 on the defense.
Alvin Walton called for the pass interference penalty that will erase Caldwell's fine interception and return.
Well, you can't see him there.
Ball gets batted up, and he just stays with it the whole time. I think that's great dexterity on his part to follow that ball down into his hands. Now look at him. He just drags this guy almost, but he can't quite get there. Looks like he went down about the 1.
So Walton called for the penalty. The turnover is erased. And the Jets have it back at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
It's a tough call. It looks as though Alvin went right through the receiver, and I guess the referee felt he got there a little quick.
Well, it's the pass coverage ability that cost Alvin Walton his job a year ago when the Redskins got Danny Copeland. He's always been one of the best run support safeties in football.
Raven Caldwell seems to be having some problems with the refs down there for some reason.
Still may be protesting that last call. You like to have that interception on your resume. Play clock running down. Taylor trying to get the snap off before he's penalized. And just did. Taylor on the run, throws. Complete out to the 45-yard line. Tight end Johnny Mitchell, their top draft choice. A gain of 21 yards. So Taylor showing you some scrambling ability.
Well, this guy got a lot of talent, this Mitchell kid, and he's one of those guys who knows very well where the seams are. And that was one of the critical factors out of college, that although he was not, he didn't catch a lot of balls, but he knew how to run patterns. He just had a knack for it, very instinctive.
Number 25 for the Redskins is Calvin Holmes, a 9th-round draft choice. Watch the mistake he made. Doesn't wrap him up, just throws the shoulder into the guy. And Mitchell is 6'3", 263. Not going to knock him off his pins very easily. A.B. Brown, their version of the counter, into Redskins territory at the 49.
Tony Parker made the stop.
Clock under a minute, third period.
2nd and 6.
Brown with 5 carries and 42 yards. So Brown and Green have been the two most impressive running backs on the field tonight. 2nd and 6 for the Jets. Ball spotted just into Redskins territory. Taylor changing the play again.
Looks like the Jets have been audibling a lot tonight at the line of scrimmage.
Sure does. Brown slipped the tackle, outruns another one. First down. A.B. Brown has done a fine job off the bench. Raven Caldwell had to go to the sideline to knock him out of bounds. And another flag down.
Looks like it's on the Jets.
Illegal use of hands, and they'll bring this one back. So Brown has had a couple of good runs wiped out by penalty. It's Troy Sadowski, number 49, who was called with the illegal block. And he's getting an earful at the sideline.
2nd and 16 from the 40.
Well, if the Jets are going to get back in this game, they can't afford to make mistakes like that, particularly after you have a nice game like that.
Faced with 2nd and 16 here from their own 40. Skins shifting that defensive line and making Taylor go to audibles again. And now the quarter is going to run out, not the play clock. So Taylor gets a break. And at the end of 3 periods of play, the Redskins lead the Jets by 6.
Tonight's Redskins versus Jets preseason game is brought to you in part by your Toyota dealers, by Roy Rogers, no one does chicken like Roy, and by Valvoline, the #1 motor oil.
The Jets reserves have made a game of it here in the second half. In the third quarter, the Jets gained 98 yards in total offense. The Redskins only had 40 after dominating the first half with 178 yards.
Well, the key to the second half, I think, has been the Redskins' inability to really throw the football. They've ran the ball well at times, but they really haven't been able to get much going passing again.
2nd and 16 for Troy Taylor, who seems to be changing virtually every play at the line of scrimmage. Rifles this one complete to the Redskin 49-yard line, caught by Patrick Nelson. Gain of 12.
Well, Troy Taylor looks kind of frail as NFL quarterbacks go, but he certainly does have a strong arm. The Redskins are in a zone defense, and he just finds the opening right there.
Johnny Thomas came up to make the tackle.
At the Washington 48.
He has time to throw.
So with 2nd and 16, now 3rd and 4 for the Jets. Spotted at the Redskins 48. Comes the blitz. They pick it up well. Taylor throws incomplete, though. Alvoid Mays had the coverage on the intended receiver, Eric Bowles, the 11th round draft choice.
Alvoid Mays on coverage.
And another Jet is down. This is Dwayne White, the starting right guard.
4 at the Redskin 48.
Well, you hate to see guys hurt at any time, but in preseason, it puts so much pressure on the club. Remember, if you go on IR in preseason, you're out for the year, period. So it makes the coach's decisions very, very difficult.
Well, you end up playing with less people because you don't want to put them on.
Exactly. Timeout, 14:08 to go in the ball game. Redskins still up by 6. The Redskins lead by 6, 14:08 to go in the ball game, and the Jets on 4th and 4 will have to punt it away from the Washington 48-yard line.
Well, they'd like to get a good punt down here, maybe knock it out of bounds on the inside the 10, and pin the Redskins down, try to get some field position.
McAllister is the kicker. Terry Smith waits at the 10-yard line. Redskins know, of course, what Brian Mitchell, the regular return man, can do, trying to give Smith a little work. McAllister floats one. Smith lets it go, takes the Jets bounce, and will be down around the 10-yard line. So McAllister does his job, and the Redskins will have to take over. They'll mark it at the 11.
The 11-yard line. 37 yards on the punt.
I was curious to see if they was going to let Chris Hakel take any snaps, but Rutledge is coming back out onto the field, so I guess Jeff's going to go another series.
Hakel has had no work in the preseason, the 4th-round draft choice out of William & Mary. Have to think William & Mary had a pretty good ball club with Hakel and Robert Green.
He certainly must have been able to score some points.
Yeah. Green dances across the 15 to about the 16-yard line.
He looked like he was going to get another 10 or 15, didn't he? He got caught by a shoestring there. Otherwise, I believe he would have. Looks like 40 got here, just an off-tackle play, but the creases are back on the inside, and Green sees it and gets through it.
John, I think you're right. He does remind you a lot of Ricky Irvin's running style, and success for that matter. Gain of 6 on the last play, 2nd and 4 Redskins. Green again. Tries to dance away from a tackler, doesn't have any success. Glenn Cadrez brought him down that time.
Yeah, there just really wasn't anything there that time.
Well, he's shown good body and ball control when he's running. He got good balance, and he steps into a hole, and he accelerate, explode. A lot of the attributes you got to have as a runner. I think they're going to have a hard time getting rid of this guy.
I was going to say the same thing, Bob. I think he's got a great chance, and I think actually they're planning to see if he'll play himself out of a job, but he's getting stronger, so that they would feel good if they had to let him go, but he's not going to let him do that. It's going to be a real tough decision.
8 yards of carry is a pretty good average. 3rd and 2 Redskins. Rutledge has Green coming out of the backfield. Through for him, it's intercepted. Picked off by Coleman. Coleman to the 24. And it looked like Rutledge had his eyes locked on Green the entire way, and Coleman read it very well.
Never saw him at all. Yeah, he's going back here, and he's looking for his receivers. Can't really find anybody, but he doesn't really ever see Coleman standing right there between him.
Coleman, a 4th-round draft choice out of Mississippi. So the Jets back in business at the Redskin 24-yard line.
He gets pressured, and I think that's what hurt Jeff. He felt like he had to get rid of the ball, otherwise he was going to take a sack, and he didn't want to do that.
And Coleman just sitting there back in the zone. Chaffee, nowhere to go. Cut it back, did get back to the line of scrimmage. Johnny Thomas came up from the secondary, cut off the play. Troy Taylor in there at quarterback. Redskins send in Nate Hill in the defensive line. And on this series at least, bring out Bobby Wilson, last year's #1 draft choice. Blitz. And Taylor hit from behind just as he unloaded. Bombed by Tony Barker. 10th round draft choice out of Rice. And he had a clear shot at Taylor.
Yeah, he doesn't ever see this coming. A total blindside right here.
Well, a helmet between his shoulder blades will wake you up.
Or put you to sleep.
Yeah.
I think the Redskins just brought in some of the kill dogs. I noticed, I think that Gouvea's back in out there. Andre Collins and Jumpy Gethers, I think, are back in the ball game for him.
Like to stop him here on 3rd and 10. Collins showing blitz. Here they come. A.B. Brown. The right call against the blitz, but he can't get the first down. Stops at the 16-yard line. Nearly broke that one. And a couple of Redskins slow getting up.
Yeah, Collins, looks like he's faking it, but he comes, but he just can't quite get through in time. Otherwise, they'd have had the perfect call on. He gets tripped up a little bit. And
Hurley Brown, number 38, throws his shoulder in there. And the Jets will go for it on 4th and 2. Why not?
Why not? That's a good question. I think basically you're seeing everybody get some individual work out here on both teams right now.
Taylor, play fake. Going to try to run for it. Dives. It'll be close.
It will be close. You're right, Mike. I think Bobby made a good point earlier in the game in that if the Jets are going to try and get some continuity or get some feeling of team, they'd want to have Brian Nagel in there right now. And
yeah.
I think that, you know, you're going for it here on 4th and 2. You got 11 minutes on the clock here. Looks like it's a play action, and he rolls out trying to find somebody, but he decides to go ahead and go for it himself.
And they have the first down. Coslett knows it's important for this franchise to win, not only from the standpoint of his players and their momentum, but from ticket sales and everything like that. It's still a business.
Bottom line.
Well, they had a big win against the Eagles.
Well, they pounded them 41-14. A.B. Brown, the single setback, he'll get the ball. Bounces off the tackle. Brown to the 5. Touchdown.
Nice run.
Some sloppy tackling by the Redskins allowed A.B. Brown to get it in.
Well, there's really, the Redskins really don't have a shot at him right there. He goes into a pile and really runs into the back of his offensive lineman, draws a bunch of the defenders to him, and then just bounces it outside, and he has basically a walk into the end zone.
Raul Allegre will try to give the Jets the lead. And does. And hard to imagine the way the Redskins have dominated this football game, that now with 10-14 left, they're actually behind the Jets, 14-13. Back with a kickoff in a moment. Redskins now down to the New York Jets, 14-13, with 10 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the ball game. Mike Patrick, Bobby Mitchell, John Riggins, and Steve Buckhantz with you from the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And Aguiar set to kick off for the Jets. Terry Smith and Joe Howard Johnson waiting at the 10. Kicking into a rather stiff wind down on the field. And got it all. Joe Howard Johnson from the 2. Nice return to the 30, 32-yard line. Back and take a look at the touchdown. It gave the Jets their first lead of the ball game.
As I was saying, he just really runs into the back of some of his offensive linemen, and then they actually have position on the Redskins that are outside and seal it off, and he just basically walks it in. Nice run. 5
plays, picked up 24 yards, and take the lead for the first time, and the Redskins go to work from their own 32. Green is the running back. Rutledge deep sideline. Johnson overthrown. He had beaten McMillan by a step.
Well, this actually is a good situation now for Rutledge, I think. The team's behind. He's got a chance to win the game. And although his interception kind of helped put it the way it is, but maybe it'll change his perspective. And instead of having an attitude that I'm going in and mopping it up,
right,
he has a chance to do something now.
Should tend to bring a little more intensity to that Redskins offensive unit. 2nd and 10, 9:58 to go in the game. Five-man rush. Rutledge with time, throws complete to Johnson, the 46-yard line. Gain of 14 and a Washington first down.
Well, Joe Howard ran an excellent pattern. He ran what they call a squirrel speed, and all he's doing is making him think he's going to go deep. He comes back.
Really turned McMillan around on that play.
He squirreled him, yeah.
Well, with the play of Johnson and Hobbs behind the posse and Desmond Howard sitting out, you'd think the Redskins are rather well set at receivers. They are pretty well stocked at every other position. Green, nothing. How many receivers can you keep, Bobby?
Well, that's up to Coach Gibbs. He loves them, so you never know what he's going to do.
Well, you know he's
going to
have
a
keep
problem.
10 tight ends, don't you?
That's what I'm saying. Well, he's going to have a problem because this kid, Robert Green, is playing so well, so that adds another guy back in the backfield.
Right.
And he's already got a problem with Hobbs out there on the outside in terms of receivers, and Desmond hasn't even come in. So I don't know. He'll do some juggling there.
And we have not seen John settle.
I was just getting ready to bring him up, that I'm really surprised that he hasn't played. They came in the second half with what you'd have to consider an aged running back, Gerald Riggs. They brought him out. I mean, they worked him pretty hard in the first half, and they bring him out and let him go ahead and open up the second half. And John Settle's yet to be out on the field. I don't know if that's good or bad if you're John Settle, but I have to feel it's probably not in your best interest.
Right. There's Settle on the sideline, former 1,000-yard rusher from Atlanta, as was Gerald Riggs. That last pass too high for Hobbs.
When you consider that Sells didn't play last year, this is awfully important for him. He needs to play.
Still has a little effects of an arthroscopic knee operation. Five-man rush. Rutledge sacked. Bill Pickell, who did it so long with the Raiders, comes in to make the tackle here, and the Redskins will have to punt.
I think Matt Elliott gives up this sack. They've got him playing guard now, it looks like.
They've got Kevin Brothen in at center.
Right, and I think they moved Elliott over to guard, didn't they? But I think his man just kind of manhandles him here and just pushes him right on back.
So Kelly Goodburn will punt. Line drive may have touched one of the Jets, but New York recovers at the 20-yard line. Goodburn with a low line drive that goes 42 yards.
I was saying a while ago when we was on a break that I think that for the Redskins, everything's going along just about, I think, the way Coach Gibbs would like it to, although last week it was a little bit inconsistent. Good.
And it looks like the Jets get a break here, as it did hit him. We'll be back in a moment. This game has really turned around. The New York Jets have taken a 14-13 lead over the Redskins. 8:03 to go in the game. The Jets have the ball back at their own 19-yard line. Leroy Kennard, the new running back, breaks it for 10, 15, pushed out of bounds by Clarence Vaughn.
Well, the Jets are in a great opportunity now. They have an opportunity here to really make it rough on the Redskins to get back in the game. And with a run like this, that's certainly the way to get your drive started.
It's nothing but a speed sweep. There's nothing, but just a matter of coming across the line and tackling it. I don't think Pettibone and Torgey are going to like that.
Preseason game or not, coaches want to see their players play well. 1st and 10 Jets. Clock running, 7:39 left. Play action by Taylor. Throwing on the run, complete to midfield. And it's the tight end, Pat Kelly. A gain of 14. Taylor with a nifty little fake there.
Looks like George Hinkle, the left defensive end of the Redskins, kind of gets sucked in on this play action. You can see where he's kind of out of position. I think his responsibility is contained, and the quarterback's able to get outside of that.
Hinkle, another Plan B acquisition. There's Kelly, the third-team tight end for this club. Another first down, Jets, and the clock inexorably ticking away under 7 minutes. Keep it on the ground. Continue to make good yardage. The Jets down to the Redskins 39-yard line. Kelvin Fisher, the rookie out of Arizona State, a free agent.
Looks like he just ran over Clarence Vaughn on that play, I believe. He comes through. Good blocking by the Jets offensive line. No, I guess it wasn't him.
See, everybody who puts on a green jersey right now is starting to look like John Riggins.
Hurley Brown. I think they're related to the Hulk, not me.
Hurley Brown just got dusted on that one.
Right, that was him. It wasn't him.
6:13 to go in the game. Another first down, Jets. Fisher. This time the Redskins stand in strong. Hit made by Ricky Shaw, number 59, a 4-year free agent out of Oklahoma State.
Well, if you're the Jets, you at least want to get down there and get a field goal and put it out of reach and make the Redskins have to go the length of the field and get a touchdown to beat you.
And the Redskins offense in the second half has done absolutely nothing. Outside of a couple of good runs, Rutledge has had his troubles throwing the football. 2nd and 7. Fisher again. 3 or 4 up the middle. Tom Fuller, number 73, with some help from Hurley Brown on the tackle. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3, and we've reached the 5-minute mark.
I don't know. Are they in Allegre's field goal range now?
Right now, they're
46, 47 yards.
Certainly at the outer limits of it. Of course, they also have Jason Starofsky over there, who's got quite a leg.
Long ball?
Yep. Taylor wants to throw, has a back wide open, and finds him out of the backfield. Blaze Bryant. He's the man who went in motion. Nobody went with him.
Right, I think we had a breakdown in coverage there, Mike. There's nobody here that picks him up. He's out there all by himself, literally. They kind of flood that area over there. And he's just standing there waiting to catch the ball.
Look at that, nobody in the picture. Clarence Vaughn came up to make the stop, but too late. First down at the 20.
That'll put a big smile on Richie's face.
Oh, yeah. Clock continues to run. 3:55 to go, and the Jets have been very impressive on this drive. Bryant, he'll get the carry, and he's wrapped up in a hurry. The Redskins finally make the defensive play. John Brantley, the linebacker, cut through to make the tackle. He's wearing the number that you would normally see on Ted Rogers, number 95. Young man from Bethesda who is injured right now.
Well, there's a costly mistake by the Jets. They've got a holding penalty.
Holding, 83, offense. Still first down.
That's their top draft choice, Johnny Mitchell. Not a particularly accomplished blocker coming out of college. An excellent receiver. You'd think it'd be the other way around at Nebraska, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Definitely.
I mean, in Nebraska, the tight end catches one once a month, whether he needs to or not. So now they back it up 10. It's 1st and 20. On the delay, Kennard brought down at the 28. Solid tackle there by Johnny Thomas. And the Redskins stop the clock with a timeout. Thomas has seen a lot of action tonight for the Redskins in the secondary.
That just play a lot. He needs that work, too, because he's been floundering around the last couple of years. If he could put the talent together with that speed, he'd be really something.
Joe Gibbs with 2 timeouts left, having to use them on defense right now. Of course, plenty of time on the scoreboard, 3:34, but the Jets have eaten about 4 minutes off the clock on this drive. And there's Allegre loosening up.
We do have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, but the Jets are in scoring position, and so far you have to be a little bit apprehensive because the Redskins haven't been able to do anything, as we were saying earlier, in the second half tonight. And they're going to have to pass the ball now. The Jets know that. And I think it's going to be tough for them.
I think the one point we ought to make, when the Redskins starters were in there against the Jets starters, the Redskins dominated offensively and defensively. So this might give us a little skewed viewpoint here.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. I think the Redskins are in perfect position. They're so low-key in the preseason right now.
Taylor hands it off. Redskins with Eric Gash, number 56, making a tackle. Call another timeout, and it will be 3rd and about 15.
Yeah, just a little hitter up the middle there, and it's good defense by the Redskins.
So the clock is stopped with 3 minutes and 28 seconds to go. So if you joined us late in the ball game, excuse me, John, pass on some information about the 4 holdouts for the Redskins. Apparently no progress. There had been some media reports, newspaper and some others that had said there might have been a lot of progress, and Mark Rippon, for one, might be signing very soon. But General Manager Charlie Casserly says, quite rightfully, I think, until they're signed, they're not signed.
Which I guess you can read anything you want into that. You pick them.
Well, the Miami Dolphins had a situation where their #1 draft choice, Troy Vincent, flew down before their last preseason game last week against the Redskins. It was reported he would sign a contract at that point. It turns out he gets back on a plane and flies away, makes you look bad. And I don't think the Redskins want to get into that kind of a contest. 3rd and 15 for Troy Taylor. Bryant picks up about 3, and the Redskins will burn their final timeout as the Jets obviously just setting up a field goal opportunity. Gash again was in on the stop.
Well, I think we'll hear that the Redskins really couldn't hold the Jets. They had the game in their hands in the second half, that they kind of let it get away on them. But realistically, as you were saying, Mike, I think that the Redskins have to feel pretty good about what happened here tonight. Regardless of the outcome of the score, I think the people that were in there at the beginning of the game completely dominated this, basically against, the #1s against the #1s, and they don't really, doesn't mean all that much what happens when you start putting the substitutes in and guys that you're looking at to see who's going to make your team.
Now, Bobby, is that the way the coaches are going to look at it? Are they going to break down all this stuff individually and take a look at what people did?
Oh, yes. When they get to this situation tomorrow, they'll be looking essentially to see the people that they got to depend on, how did they handle tonight. And I agree with John. Those guys played very well.
Allegre will try from 39 yards. This would give the Jets a 4-point lead. A 10-year veteran battling with Jason Starowski for the place-kicking job. And the Redskins may have gotten a piece of that one. If they didn't, it was just an awful kick by Allegre.
Well, there's a break for the Redskins, because you would have thought that probably was going to be 3 points for the Jets.
And McAllister, who held for him, saying something to Allegre.
It looks as though he got it down okay.
somebody appeared to get a piece of it.
I think you're right, Mike. Right there.
Yeah.
Wayne Sevier, can you hear us?
Yes.
Wayne, who got a piece of that, and what action did you have going?
Well, we were coming with a block from the right, but then Nate Hill hit it up in the middle. It was a good chance of that happening because it was into the wind, and he was going to have to drive it low, so it was a good job on our part.
Sure was. Hill got a piece of it, saves the 3 points. Green wrapped up immediately. He made the catch at the 20. Brian Washington, the starting strong safety, made the tackle. And a lot of the starters are in there for the Jets in this pass defense. Rutledge had this one tipped at the line of scrimmage, knocked away by the defensive end, Matt Willing.
Well, I think the Jets don't want this one to get away. He's got somebody open here, but unfortunately, the Jets are doing a heck of a job of rushing right now, and when he goes to his receiver, that doesn't usually work.
So the Redskins now down to a 3rd and 11. And it's been a tough night for Rutledge. Four-man rush. Has time. And throws, picked off by R.J. Course. Back to the 30. To the 24-yard line. A 29-yard return, and that had to be a situation where the intended receiver was held up.
Something, because either that, he must not have looked where he was throwing the ball. Well, there was supposed to be somebody in that spot.
The receiver kept running. That it was just they didn't see there was a difference in opinion there on where they should go. We had the youngster going one way and the old veteran throwing another place.
Well, they're going to have to get Rippon in here just to back up Conklin. Just teasing.
Well, that may do it as the Jets take over. The Redskins have no timeouts left. So a single first down would wrap it up. And not surprisingly, the Jets will go on the ground. Flag is down. And that may be a holding call against New York, as Kelvin Fisher is trying to stay in bounds. And it is. Looked like it was a hold at the point where he was trying to turn the corner.
Yeah, I think it was at the point of attack. I think it might have been an arm outside the jersey or the shoulder pad.
And Bruce Coslett will not be happy about that one.
83 offense. It's declined.
That's Johnny Mitchell again, the tight end. That's the second one he's been called for. And a cardinal mistake at this point in the game when you want the clock to run.
Yeah, he should now right in here where he's got a seam there, and I might be running a little bit too much sideways, but that's where he should tuck the ball up inside there. You don't want to, if you're the Jets, you don't want to run the ball to the out of bounds.
That would have taken it down to the 2-minute warning. Instead, there's 2:28 to go. And the Jets don't get this play off in time. The play clock ran down to 0. It's another error. Well, Troy Taylor's been flirting with that play clock ever since he came in the game.
Well, I think it's kind of a bittersweet win, really, for the Jets, if that's, in fact, what does happen, because obviously their first team really didn't perform that well.
Right.
And yet they come out of here with a victory, and, of course, that, I guess, will mean something to them. I think the Redskins, as I was saying earlier, are right where they want to be. That their defense is certainly playing just like it did when it finished the year last year. And with Conklin in there at quarterback, I thought the offense looked quite sharp.
I thought they looked terrific. And that's with a banged-up offensive line, too. So 2nd and 13 now for the Jets as they continue to try to give the Redskins a shot at getting the ball back. They'll keep it on the ground. And the Skins do a nice job of stacking it up. Hinkle got out there in a hurry along with Thomas and Clarence Vaughn. See the clock running. This will go down to the 2-minute warning. Again, the Redskins do not have any timeouts left. And it will be 3rd and about 12. That is the 2-minute warning. The Jets are leading the Redskins 14-13. The ball is at the Redskins 26. The bad news is that the Skins are down by a point. The Jets have it 3rd and 12, and Washington has no timeouts left. We're at the 2-minute mark in this game.
My prediction, guys, is as long as the Redskins have a quarterback from Washington State, they'll be all right this time.
It's always been like you to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
Taylor almost didn't get it off again, and Kennard is blasted as he got back to the line of scrimmage. That's the 3rd good tackle made by John Brantley, and at linebacker. Got some help from Gash, who's already lost the S off that jersey, and working on the H.
And the G. Tearaway letters. No, I've never seen that before.
Well, that's tough. You're really hitting when your name gets knocked off.
I'm going to show you how many guys are in the Jet camp, or in the Redskin camp. They bring them in there and they just iron on new names right and left.
Jets letting the clock run down. There's 10 seconds left to go on the play clock. And McAllister will hold for Allegre as they'll go for another field goal. This would be a 46-yard attempt, and they'll wait for the play clock to get down to 2 seconds and use the timeout. It's a little funny to do a Jets game and not see Pat Leahy out there because he was here for so long.
What was it, 17 or 18 years? Has this been his 18th?
Something ridiculous like that. And such a great kicker. And they asked him if the first thing to go was his legs, and he said no, it was his hair.
Well, that went a long time ago.
But Allegre trying to take the job, the former New York Giant. And right now he'll have a chance to kick a field goal that would put the Jets up by 4 points. Nate Hill got a hand on the last attempted field goal try for the Redskins. And the Skins would love to have another block, maybe run this one back. That's about the best offensive play they could think of.
Just what I was thinking. That's about the only way I can see they're going to score now.
Once again, into the wind. Got that one. But it's wide.
Shane Collins almost got that ball. He came clean in there, but just a tad too late.
So the Redskins dodge another bullet as Allegre has missed twice in the late going. And now Washington will get the ball back for what you would have to assume would be the final time, with 1:08 left to go in the game and no timeouts.
Yeah, Collins comes from the right of your screen. He just slips right in between two blockers. But it just took him too long to get there.
Well, that was close.
Yeah, he just pushed it out. He got into the ball very well.
Collins, the rookie defensive end out of Arizona State, and now it's all up to Jeff Rutledge, who would rather not have a videotape of this second half. This will not go into his highlight reel.
No, it won't go on that same reel with the Detroit game, will it?
No, sir. Of course, that's about 2 hours long. He completed everything he threw. First and 10 from the 29. 1:08 left in the game. The Skins need a field goal to win it. And Green on the delay will get about 6 out to the 36-yard line. No timeouts. Sort of a strange call in that situation.
I was going to say, I think we just saw the white flag go up. No moss, no moss.
Rutledge dumps it to Green. Out to the 40. It will be a first down, but the clock continues to run. Remember, Lohmiller has great range, but you've got to get him another 20 yards to have a chance. Rutledge under pressure, throws incomplete. That one through the hand of James Jenkins. The tight end stops the clock with 21 seconds to go.
My personal opinion is that the Redskins are right where they want to be. I think they're right on track. What they've done tonight, I know going into the game, Bobby was saying that Coach Gibbs was concerned because, somewhat confused. He didn't see anything that he liked last week in Miami, but you got to remember, everybody had only been in camp a week, really, and that really isn't a true test, but they seem to really bounce back this week and put together, I thought, a very good first-half performance.
Well, he'll love looking at the first-half tape of this one. Rutledge, deep sideline. Joe Howard Johnson got out of bounds at the 46 with 15 seconds to go. 16-yard gain. Oh, one more of those, you have a shot at a field goal.
I'll tell you what, I think that's exactly what's happening here. All they got to do is complete one and give the chipper a shot at it.
Lohmiller has already converted 2 field goals tonight, 22 and 28.
16-yard gain. First out.
And he would have a following wind, and with his great range, I think they might try it from here to be 62.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Rutledge throws complete. Hobbs has got to get out of bounds, and he doesn't. Clock running.
Put the ball down, Rep.
And that's it.
Well, I'm just glad that wasn't a regular season game.
Yeah. Well, the Redskins had a shot, got it down to the 35-yard line. Would have been a 52-yard field goal attempt if they could have gotten the kicking team on the field in time, but they didn't, and Bruce Coslett able to pull it out as his reserves did the job in the second half. If you joined us late, the Redskins did dominate the first half. Bobby, your impressions?
Well, I think that Joe Gibbs is going to be very happy with his offense. Those guys who are considered first unit guys played very, very well in the first half. I think you're very pleased with that. And again, little kid Robert Green is continuing to look real good. So that gives you a plus in terms of the young guys.
And John, Kerry Conklin certainly didn't do himself any damage in the first half.
I think right now he's in the driver's seat actually to be, to be the backup quarterback once Rippon gets in here and reports. What was the 11 for 16 for 98 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, and Rutledge 10 for 21 and 64 yards. Not really too impressive in the second half, but there was a lot of breakdowns in the protection, I think, and it was really the first chance he's really got to play this year, so he'll want to improve that.
And Green with 10 carries and 74 yards. Steve Buckhantz, that's the way we see it from up here. It was a lot of fun.
At least in the first half, not a bad game. Kerry Conklin, as you said, directed the offense. The team looked good, and they looked stupendous on defense. I think things changed around drastically as you saw a different Redskin team in the second half and obviously a different New York Jet football team. Jeff Rutledge not able to get the football team moving. The receivers weren't there. The protection wasn't there as it was for Conklin in the first half. Rutledge getting some experience back there. He needed some time. Joe Gibbs said before the game we want to give Rutledge some time, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get the team in a scoring position. And for the second straight week, the Redskins drop a one-point game. They lose it this evening 14-13 to the New York Jets, and now the real fun begins for Joe Gibbs. They'll practice a couple of times on Monday. They'll practice once very hard Tuesday morning in Carlisle, and then they'll get on a plane and fly to London for the game next Sunday in London. The following week they're in Los Angeles. So the Redskins drop at 14-13. For some of you, we will return for our post-game activities. For the rest of you, thanks for watching. For Mike Patrick, Bobby Mitchell, and John Riggins, Steve Buckhantz saying so long from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Once again, our final score, the New York Jets 14, the Washington Redskins 13.
Tonight's Redskins versus Jets preseason game has been brought to you in part by Valvoline, the #1 motor oil, by your Toyota dealers, by Nestea Iced Tea, and by Converse, the shoes with React Juice. And remember, It's what's inside that counts.